Hey everybody, how you doing? Bruce here. What's happening today? Welcome to Monday, February the 8th, 2021. Pre-market, an hour to go before we open up for the day. Welcome to Monday. Let me put that on mute. You don't need to hear me twice. Nice to see you here. Nice to have you coming by. February the 8th. Lots going on here. 2021. Hang on, I'm working on it. Lots going on here in the pre-market. I was just watching on CNBC some latest updates and been covering some stories this morning already. And now a breaking story that just came out about Tesla and Bitcoin. Really interesting. Apparently Tesla has invested $1.5 billion of their cash into Bitcoin currency in order to facilitate Bitcoin transactions. And I think they're prepared to offer cars for sale through Bitcoin purchases directly. They'll take Bitcoin currency as payment. And it won't surprise me if they do the same thing for, they'll do the same thing with respect to, ongoing repairs, parts, ongoing business relationships. I think they're going to expand that. Very interesting. Never a dull moment in this market. And with Mr. Elon Musk, there is never a dull moment. So currency accounts or currency, what's the word I'm looking for? Those of you who like the Bitcoin and Doge and other investments, interesting developments. Will other companies fall in line and get involved? I don't know. The big debate right now on CNBC is the efficacy. the Andrew Ross Sorkin is trying to interview was interviewing a gentleman saying, well, all last month Elon had been promoting Bitcoin and other digital currencies, and now while he's doing that, while he's tweeting that on his phones, the company Tesla announces was buying up Bitcoin during the month of January and just disclosed that now as a filing to the SEC. Is that not a self-serving conflict of interest? After all, he's buying it behind the scenes, and now it's only becoming now public knowledge. Back and forth goes the questions. By the way, cheers to all of you. Welcome. It's Super Bowl Monday. Super Bowl's over. Congratulations, Tom Brady and the Bucs, I guess. And sorry, Kansas City Chiefs fans. What are you going to do? It was an interesting game. It was a unique thing to watch. But I find it interesting how defense usually wins Super Bowls. And it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense that won that Super Bowl. As great as Tom was in getting some passes off, they snuffed out the Kansas City Chiefs offense time and time again. And the Kansas City just could not close the deal with a touchdown. Amazing. Never a dull moment. Anyway, thank you for being here. Those of you who've been watching my video I made yesterday, thanks for that. I went live yesterday as well, and it was nice to visit with some of you yesterday. I did do a video yesterday afternoon about hedge funds and a little bit of info there. I hope you found that enlightening. I hope you get a chance to see it if you haven't seen it already. What's going on? Lots happening. Let me take a look at my trusty notes. Found out some interesting info in the first for the last hour and a half or so on a number of things, including this now breaking story about Tesla moving into Bitcoin currency. Most interesting. Bitcoin is up to 43,900, up 5,300 this morning on this news. It was up about 1,000 when I heard the news, and it's gained 4,000 since. Tesla shares were not doing a heck of a lot. They were actually down on the morning slightly when I heard the breaking news. And Tesla in the pre-market apparently has popped up a bit. Let me just get a quote for you. TSLA, I believe was the quote. Yep. Tesla, $8.73 a share, roughly up $21 in the pre-market for Tesla. Now, of course, this is an interesting thing. You got $1.5 billion of your cash into Bitcoin. And if Tesla got into Bitcoin at 35,000, let's say, and it's now sitting at, what did I just tell you? Here it is right here. If Bitcoin is now at 43,700 and Tesla is into it at 35,000, they're up $8,000 or $8,000 a coin. That's a third 30% gain. That means their 1.5 billion is worth 2 billion because it's a third more valuable. So Tesla is actually up $500 million this morning in value on an asset that they have. They've just made a $500 billion recorded gain. That, of course, will fluctuate. But isn't that interesting how that, this will be most interesting. I wonder about how this will, how this will play itself out. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, Tesla and Bitcoin and the future of digital investment and digital currency makes you wonder. I'm quite interesting. Okay, other news. The new accounts. There are a whole bunch of new accounts being opened up at with online trading platform brokerages. That would mean the Robinhoods, the Fidelities, the Schwab Slice accounts, E-Trade, and others. There was an individual on early this morning. They were interviewing him on CNBC, saying that for 2019 to 2020, 17% more accounts were opened in 2020 than 2019 on these platforms. There was a definite move that direction. But since this short squeeze game took place, a short squeeze phenomenon with Reddit and Wall Street Bets and all the stocks we've been following, 300 to 400% increase in the number of new accounts being opened right now online. So the effect of the worldwide news of people following GameStop, AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, BlackBerry, and all the other shares that got caught up in a short squeeze, game has been advertised globally. It's the biggest global advertisement you could ever hope to have as a company that offers these kinds of services. And people want in. Investors want in. They are beginning to realize, hey, I don't have enough money for a stockbroker. I don't have $100,000 to attract an actual human being to look after my portfolio. I've got $3,000. I've got $2,000. I've got $5,000. I got $10,000. I got $800. I want to get in on the market, and I'm beginning to figure out that I can learn a lot about the stock market on my own online by just following, influencers, vlogs, blogs, and on it goes. And then there's the Wall Street Bets thing and the Reddit thing and the Twitter thing and guys like Uncle Bruce. This is not scaring people away. I find it. I just keep shaking my head at how old-fashioned, how old school and old-fashioned these TV guys are. They're just from the 60s, man. Like, get with the program. I'm 65 and I get it. These guys are in their 30s and they're talking like I think they're disturbed by the fact that a lot of you folks are coming into the marketplace on your own without a stodgy old broker who's a member of the local Wall Street Athletic Club. You don't need the help of a hedge fund manager. You don't need the help of a mutual fund manager. You don't need the help of dad's country club pals to make an investment decision. You can do it on your own, and you are doing it on your own. And these platforms are saying to investors, look, come on in and take a look at what we have and all the services we can offer you. And all of the research we can give you, and you can learn how to buy stock, sell stock, buy options, sell options, write options. All of these tools that are available to you through the handiness of your telephone or laptop or iPad or desktop, and we'll guide you through it. And you don't have to be a penny stock player with a so-called stockbroker working out of a strip mall in New Jersey, aka the Wolf of Wall Street. You don't have to talk to a Wolf of Wall Street guy in New Jersey in a strip mall to help you invest your money. You can do it on your own. Whether you're going to buy a penny stock, that's good luck with that. But if you're going to follow the markets, the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, all these, the S&P 500s, technology stocks, way to go. This can be done now by the average investor, and you don't need to have access to a major Wall Street banking brokerage entity anymore. Speaking of that, though, did you know that E-Trade earlier this past year was bought up by Morgan Stanley? Morgan Stanley, the big Wall Street, they own E-Trade, and they're offering commission-free trading through E-Trade. The question now is, will Goldman Sachs and other major Wall Street power bankers, I mean, these are the big boys, are they going to move into the platform business and either buy up existing platform companies or create their own in competition with? Because this business, the guys at Morgan Stanley figured it out. They went, wait a minute, hold it a second. If we offer commission-free trading by buying E-Trade, we can then, this is our door in to these investors' assets, because Morgan Stanley is involved in a multitude of other services, retirement planning, the credit card side, mortgages, car loan. I mean, they have all kinds of fingers everywhere. And if they can attract $500 or $1,000 from someone to just open an account and try to day trade a little bit or trade from time to time, and then slowly integrate them into their family of services, smart move. And it's all about gathering assets and getting volume. Another thing this gentleman said this morning was that a year ago, the average daily trading volume on the stock exchanges, all combined, was about 7-8 billion shares a day, between 7 and 8 billion a day. Lately, volume on the markets, 15 billion shares trading a day, and it's not going down. $15 billion. And I can tell you this, from this guy's sideline view, and with my experience, this $1.9 trillion stimulus package that will pass Congress and will go through and will be enacted, and the $1,400 checks are coming out there to make it a total of $2,000 benefit. Janet Yellen on the weekend is quoted as saying that amount of money coming into the U.S. economy through the hands of hundreds of millions of Americans likely will lead later this year to full employment. She expects the unemployment rate to drop below 5%, 4%. And at that point, that's where the experts say that is full employment, because you get to 96% employment and only 4% unemployment, you've topped out. Everyone who wants a job can get one. There are the odd stories, obviously, but they're now a minority that can't find them. It depends where you live, what you do, what your situation is. But all in all, the big picture for the American economy is this will be a major stimulus to the GDP of the United States. And I expect that this 1.9 trillion will just drown the markets with more cash. I think so. Because a lot of people who are paying off debts, like you get a $1,400 check, one for the husband, one for the wife, and you get checks for the kids. Households now have the luxury of, they pay bills that they're behind on if they're behind them. If they're ahead of the bills or current with the bills, they have this cash windfall, and it might go to the credit card company. It might go to an IRA contribution. Whatever it goes to, repairing the car that's been stuck for 2 months, not working. There's money going into the economy. It's flowing in, and it's going to turn over and turn over and turn over. It's all a good thing. The more money into the economy means more money is circulating in the economy, and that finds its way into stocks. It finds its way into all kinds of other things, collectibles, and to restaurants, and to you name it, GameStop with game systems. I mean, there might be people getting their stimulus check for $1,400, and what they're going to do with that is they're going to buy the new Sony Xbox 5, or the new Sony, PlayStation 5 and or the Xbox from Microsoft. By the way, GameStop in the pre-market is at 68.11, up 434 this morning. Oh yeah, so gaming systems, what you do at home is going to go up. Peloton sales could go up. All kinds of like Amazon business and you name it, that will improve. These dollars will land in people's hands late this month into March, and that's a spring, late winter, spring injection of capital to really really get things going. Additionally, and of course, if the vaccine rollout says that continues on, every day the hope is 1 million to 2 million Americans are getting inoculated, and as each week goes by, 15 million more got their shots, or 10 million, or whatever it is, 10 to 15 million a week are getting inoculated. This has this slow motion effect of dropping down the infection rates and dropping down the hospitalization rates, and hopefully dropping down the death rates, and just slowly but surely the graphs will ease up, knowing though on the other hand that there are these variants of these viruses coming in and creating havoc, but the hope is that every week a whole bunch more people are protected against at least the first form of the virus and partial protection against variants, and it's just good for the economy. So I add fuel to the fire with a $1.9 trillion stimulus, and you've got a nice start to 2021 economically, and to the markets, a very positive bit of news for the stock market. So we shall see how that plays out. Let me take a look again at the crypto over here at Bitcoin, 43,957. So that's still up 5,300 apparently. And like I say, Tesla has put in 1.5 billion cash into Bitcoin, giving the Bitcoin environment, community, vote of confidence, I guess is the way to say it. And we'll have to see how this all plays out. Comments are coming in. Thank you everybody for being here. Sorry, I haven't read a single comment yet. Got lots to tell you about, obviously, and we'll try to keep this going. Russell is saying the weekends aren't as much fun anymore since I'm into stocks because they're closed. I can't stand it. Can't stand it being closed. How come the markets aren't 24/7? Asks Pete. Why is that? Russell says a lot of people would die on the trading floor for starvation if we kept the market open 24/7. We can't have that. Anyway, we got to keep people. Got to give people a chance to reboot their energies and recharge their batteries. Can't have that. Russell, good question. What do you guys think about Tesla buying 1.5 billion of Bitcoin? There's the question right there. I'm finding it amazing. Finding it most interesting. I certainly have always seen Tesla as a cutting edge company. I mean, from every angle, cutting edge battery technology, solar technology, electric car, incredible, just absolutely incredible. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed with this move. I'm intrigued by it. We'll see what's happening. Lance, how you doing? Bence Booker, good morning. How you doing? Let's see here. Joseph, I wish Bruce gave a technical analysis why GameStop was dropping instead of just boasting about the whole time. Well, I do what I can with what I've got. Where the market is, where the market's going, I can only comment on where we are at, and I can't predict, minute to minute what's going to do next. Pete, he's looking at it as an experienced trader, not someone just looking to make a quick buck. There you go. I don't own any stock, as you know, or you should know. I don't own any investments. I'm just a commentator giving you my take on what's going on and trying to produce it, or trying to explain it to you in a plain English kind of way. I hope I'm doing that all right for you. Thank you, all of you who are saying that I am doing it all right. I appreciate that. Ray and Sue's Travel Channel. How you guys doing from St. Louis? Good morning, Bruce. Hope you and Jen are well. Let us be the first to congratulate you on 50,000 subs just before you get 50,000 subs. Awesome job. Best from Ray and Sue's Travel Channel. Thanks, you guys. They've got a YouTube channel as well. Love talking about travel. friends of this channel, thank you for the kind words and best wishes. I love it. Pete, people pay thousands to tap into someone like Bruce's experience. I have done and I do occasional private consulting for people. And I do charge $400 an hour for my time. That has to be arranged on a private telephone call basis. Yeah, you will pay dearly for one-on-one financial advisement, for market advice. And there are people who pay thousands of dollars for advice because they're handling multi-millions of dollars of assets and they need, the right kind of guidance. I mean, you get what you pay for. In my case, this is free to you to enjoy, but I can only comment on the market and what's happening in certain situations. I can't go into anyone's portfolio or game plan. I can't do that, obviously, through this channel on the air. But I do private consulting. If you send me a private email, I can make arrangements to have a chat with you for an hour or two. But yeah, I do charge $400 an hour when I do that, and I do have repeat customers who come back and they come back and they go, because if it clicks, not every advisor and individual click, but when it clicks, the individual goes, man, listening to you for 20 minutes privately, you just give me $20,000 of ideas. I mean, I'm happy to pay you this money. Well, that's how it works. And obviously, finance ministers around the world contact senior market advisors out there through hedge funds and through major brokerages, the banks, and they're only contacting on behalf of their 20 million population. So if they're paying $10,000 an hour for advisory services, that's a bargain, because you're talking about the betterment of 20 million people in a country. I don't talk to finance ministers around the world, but just individuals who have their own situations, and everyone's situation changes. Sometimes people, over the years, I've talked to people who've contacted me and said, well, my mom or my dad passed away, and there's 4 kids, and we have an estate here of $4 million, and we don't know what the hell to do. We're all just, the mom and dad used to handle everything, and they had their people, and we kids just, had our lives, and now we're in our 30s or our 40s, and now it's all up to us. What the hell are we going to do here? How do we do what we're doing? What should we do? We just want to talk to someone who doesn't know us, who didn't know my parents, someone's completely on the outside, who can just objectively help us analyze what the hell we're dealing with here. And that's where I come in from time to time. I can do that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's just another thing. So yeah, people do pay dearly for advice and advisory service, but you get what you pay for. I guess that's the deal. All right. MG Toe is happy to be here. Elaine, a long-term investor in Gamestop, I would have never expected returns like this over such a short time period. Of course, the shares were $5-6 a year ago. They're now 60-something bucks a share. Let's see what happens. They went way too high too fast. Here we are here. And I think there's a lot of corporate news that's going to come out. I think a lot of corporate news is coming out for GameStop going forward. Again, as they convert into an e-commerce company. All right. Yeah, Tesla sure pumped Bitcoin. Good morning, Bruce from Alexander. Let's see. Yeah, that's true. Elaine, I guess I'll take it, but it saddens me to see loads of people pour their life savings into something they have little knowledge of. This happens. You get these people who think they can win the lottery on one bet, and they just jump in there. Pete, $1.5 billion, nothing to Bitcoin. Could be. A GameStop is not worth more than 20. Robert is thinking. Everyone has their opinion. No, people do the same thing at casinos every day. That's right. It's going to go crazy, though. Good morning, Bruce from Ian. How you guys doing? Thank you for being here. Nice to have you all here. Pete saying $581 billion market cap, pounds, British pound market cap. I'm investing in ketchup today. I'm hearing good things about the egg and bagel market. Yeah, baby. Big Black Civic. We still like the stock. There you go. If you don't know what you're doing, everything's a gamble. Good, wise words, sir. I'm not selling my GameStop, Tyser says. Bruce, NTLK has a system to check health on cruise ships. It's a buy, man. Hey, Uncle Bruce. Sandy is saying hello. Hey, Uncle Bruce. How you doing, Sandy? How is it going today? Welcome to my show. Welcome to my channel. Nice to have you here. Everyone who's here, I've been trying to catch up with your comments, but I just can't keep up, as you all know, and I apologize for that. Well, Word Historian, thank you for the $2 donation. What do you think about Doge? They tell me it's Doge coin. Again, I don't know anything about it. I mean, I know it's a crypto thingy, and there's a lot of hype around it, and it's attractive to investors because it's so cheap. They're pennies a thing. I just even like Bitcoin, I really, I'm not an expert in this area, and I admit it. I'm just not. I can certainly read a quote. I can see that Bitcoin is now 43,644, up 5,000. But I know that that's because of the Tesla thing. But is this the beginning of a run to 60,000, or is this a short-term top? Is it going to reach maybe 48,000 to 50,000 and then back off into the low 40s, back to the high 30s? I don't know. I can't put my finger on this thing. This is one of the. It's like trying to put your finger on an eggshell. You break an egg over a pan. You want to fry an egg, and a piece of the shell lands. Or like you want to scramble eggs, and the piece of the shell lands in the bottom of the bowl, and you're getting ready to scramble the egg, and you see the piece of egg down there. You're trying to put your finger on the egg shell to get it, and then drag it out of the bowl, and you get your finger down there, it squishes away. It's like you're surrounded by the egg yolk, and you're trying to put your finger on a piece of eggshell that just isn't there for you when you get there because it moves all the time. That's Bitcoin to me. To me, Bitcoin is something that I can't. This brain just does not want to compute because I can't. I don't know who the president of Bitcoin is, and I don't know who the board of directors of Bitcoin are, and I don't know where their offices are because there aren't any. There isn't. It's all out there, and then I hear the horror stories all the time of people who forget their passwords to access their Bitcoin investments, and they can't get the password, and there's no one to call. There's no regulator to talk to about. I mean, it's just to me, I just kind of go, man, oh man, I'm obviously, I am old school. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Uncle Bruce is 65, and so he's not, he's just not the 25-year-old guy that buys into this is our generation, this is our time, this is our way. When I was 25. I was that way too, figuring we're taking the world forward now. We're going to a new direction. Of course, that was 1980. Man had landed on the moon 7 years ago. That was so yesterday, back in 72, 73. Man had landed on the moon, and we're getting ready to land on Mars at any time, 1980. And, we got MTV coming up here now. That showed up in 84, and so cool, we're so hip, and now we've got this Bitcoin thing, and the 65-year-olds, many of us are just going, what the hell is that? I can't put it in my wallet. I can't hold it. I've never seen a Bitcoin. Like, well, there isn't one. It's all just digital, and so some of us still don't trust digital because we don't like the way things get hacked and the way things get pilfered. And we don't like getting these phone calls all the time from Romanian hackers or getting ransomware nonsense. And we're just of that ilk that we kind of go, man, I can't even put this stuff in a safety deposit box if I want to hide it somewhere safe. It's all to be kept digitally somewhere. And you trust Russia and China and North Korea with your investments online like that? Oh gosh. I don't know. Anyway, it's just me. I'm just an old man. I'm just way out of it. GME to the moon. Stocks are rigged by suits. It'll only go up now. Virgin Group acquisition will only go up. Loving your content. Gonna quit. I'm gonna quit UNI and be a day trader. Andrew says, "Oh man." Physical silver goes in Elon's little care. Gamestop to the moon. Hell yes, laughing out loud. Welcome, Megan. Y'all should look into SNPR. Lots of news in the last hour. The Observer, China has confiscated 60 billion in Bitcoin, but can't break the password. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I just, oh man. And investing in China, period. I don't trust these guys. I find it amazing how little American-based or North American-based, let's say, financial networks and vloggers and bloggers, how little they talk about the fact that in the last 6 months, Alibaba, which was the darling of Wall Street 3-4 years ago when it went public, and it was supposed to do a new deal, a second underwriting through Shanghai, Hong Kong, and all that got put aside. No one is saying the obvious. As far as this old man is concerned, that company was nationalized by the Chinese government. And no, they didn't get all the stock, and they basically took the CEO, Andrew Ma, whatever his name is, Mr. Ma, and they had a little chat with this guy. The regulators had a discussion with Alibaba. That meant, code word, the secret police showed up at his house or his office, and they had a couple of cups of coffee in their offices because they summoned him to, I think, Beijing or Shanghai, to have a chat about, Alibaba and comments made by Jack Ma, being made by Jack Ma. And for like 6 weeks, he didn't know where he went. Where is this guy? He hasn't made a public appearance in 6 weeks. Nobody knows where he is. Head of a I don't know how many billion-dollar machine. The bottom line is that they took over the affairs of the corporation, because this guy doesn't say a dang word unless it's cleared by the Chinese government through whoever he has to deal with. There's probably a new assistant in the office. There's a brand new assistant in his office that he now consults with from time to time with respect to public statements. And that individual is with the, call it what you want, the Politburo, head of the, part of the China Communist Party, part of the secret police, part of the financial regulatory, like their SEC, which is directly connected to their, right to the top. That ain't no democracy over there. Okay, hello, it's not a democracy. As far as I'm concerned, any company in China that trades in China and has anything to do with the Chinese banking system, investors over there, you want to put money in this stuff, you are investing straight into entities that are controlled directly. You can draw the dots right to the Communist Party. And God bless you if you want to risk your money there. I mean, I just kind of go, you got to be kidding me. You got to just be kidding me. It's enough fun as it is to try to keep up with American companies, Canadian companies, UK, Europe. We have enough shenanigans going on in the free world and in the free enterprise world. But you want to put billions of pension fund dollars into entities over there where at the end of the day, if it isn't good for the people, I love that quote, it has to be good for the people, otherwise we just can't let it happen. Yeah, and who are the people? Well, actually, who controls all that? Well, they're one guy, and then his underlings under that, and then all the saps under that, and you have your 5,000 member Communist Party meeting once a year to bless all the decisions that the top guys made on behalf of the people. Yeah, good luck with all that. And you trust the finances of these entities. You trust the auditing finances. And what kind of sanctions are you going to put on a company for being bad actors in a marketplace? Really, good luck with that. Why they're even listed on the New York Stock Exchange blows my mind. I cannot understand why and how these entities that are so, I think the word is opaque. It's glass. You can look through the glass, but it's all foggy. You can't. I don't know why these companies can list on the New York Stock Exchange. I don't know how regulators can in any way guarantee and verify the banking financials and anything. I I have no idea. This is again, but I'm old. You see, that's the problem with me is I'm an old guy, and I go back to when I was a kid, and there was like the Berlin, the Iron Curtain, and there was like communism, and there was capitalism, and then there was a couple countries kind of in the middle, and there was China, which was a third world country that was cut off from everywhere. And then they figured out, you know what, if the Americans let us into the World Trade Organization, we can kick everyone's ass because we've got all kinds of labor here in China that we can, drum up at a snap of a finger at pennies an hour, pennies a day, because they have no way to strike or to seek better conditions. I mean, they do what the leaders say you do, and in every apartment building in Beijing, you got 100 apartments in a building. 15 of those apartments are staffed by people who report to the secret police what you're doing. Well, he picked up his mail at 10:30, but he normally goes to work at 10:15. Just noting that. And then he came home for lunch at 12:15 and left at 12:45. That's normal. But he came home after work with a big brown bag of stuff, and he had a big grin on his face, and that's unusual for him. And then the reports are just brought into the secret police to just add to the file. And the day comes that that individual made a tweet about something, and then they haul him in and say, "Well, we want to talk to you about what that brown bag you brought in the other week. What was in that? Are you picking up a second cell phone, and you're tweeting through a second thing to avoid us watching you on the first?" I only mention this because I had the pleasure to go to Berlin in 2015 3 times in 1 year with my wife Jennifer and I, because our daughter was living there for a year or so, and we got to visit her twice, and then the third time I got to go on my own. And I was able to spend 2 weeks in her apartment in Berlin on my own. I had an apartment in Berlin for 2 weeks. And I have always wanted to go to the Stasi headquarters, the secret police of the East German government. The Stasi headquarters have been preserved by the West German, literally the West German citizens. Because when the wall came down, the Stasi were trying to burn off all the files. They were shredding all the files on every German that they had. East and West, they had it all. They had agents everywhere, and the citizens stormed the building and kicked those bastards out of there. And they found all the bags, hundreds of thousands of bags of shredded documents, and they have painstakingly for the last 20-something years been putting it back together again. And they've preserved all the files of every German citizen from that moment in time, 1989. And any German can go to the Stasi through this charitable organization that the West German government, the government of Germany now, funds to preserve. And you can see your file. You can see your father's file, your mother's file, your brother's file, uncle's file. Whether they lived in East Germany or West Germany, you can request access, and you'll be given all the files of everything. And the West Germans who saw these files could not believe that they were being watched somewhat, but that their relatives in East Germany were watched 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by their neighbors or their uncles. If you were at a birthday party with 25 people, chances are 5 of them were being paid secretly by the secret police to spy on the other relatives. And they dare not tell anyone about it. Otherwise, if it leaked out and the Stasi found out that you told your brother that you went to jail. You didn't show up for work tomorrow morning. Where's Charlie? I don't know. I haven't seen him for like 4 days. He's gone. The detail of the files was so scary that people in Germany were just shocked. They were absolutely shocked. And this stopped in '89. And up to '89, we really didn't have the internet yet. We didn't have the cell phone network yet. We didn't have emails. We didn't have texting. Imagine how detailed people are followed and monitored through China right now. And Hong Kong is transitioning over, unfortunately. Hong Kong has been taken over by the authorities. And apparently preschool children will start learning this academic year the terribleness of outside influence by other countries into China's culture. They're gonna learn that don't trust what the Americans say, don't trust what the Brits say, because that's not the Chinese way. And they're going to brainwash them at age 3 and forward. And so in 25 years, the 3-year-olds will be 28, and they will be in positions around the country, around Hong Kong, and inside all the banks and inside all the brokerages, because again, 28 years from now, if you're 45 now, you're 70 something, you're retired, in comes the new wave, and the new wave will have been educated the right way from Beijing, and the takeover continues. Welcome to the world, and it's all as modern as you can possibly imagine. And I don't trust a single Chinese listed company on the New York Stock Exchange. That's my bottom line. That's just me. But then maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, what the heck do I know? I'm just an old guy. But the Stasi Museum, if you ever get the chance to visit Berlin, you will love it. I'm certain you'll love it, because whatever you're into Second World War stuff, you're going to love Berlin. You're into the Berlin Wall thing, you're going to love Berlin. You're into the Stasi, whatever, all that. You love the conspiracy stuff, you're going to love that. You love tunnels that were built under the wall to get people out, you're going to love Berlin. You're going to love Berlin back from the 1800s, the 1700s, the 1600s. Germany is an amazing place. Berlin, the city, unbelievable. It's a history. It's a museum unto itself. But I really enjoyed that Stasi tour. You can do it on your own. They give you the phone, and you have your headphone, and you can just walk around and at your leisure enjoy, or you can get a guided tour or whatever. Unbelievable, and it's just if it doesn't shake you to your core, you're not human. You cannot believe what humans do to other humans in the name of national security, for the betterment of the people. East Germany was a bankrupt failure of a country during the Cold War years. Was backed by the Soviet Union. They were propping it up any way they could, and the wall was up not to keep East Germans from escaping. No, the excuse was the wall went up to keep the Westerners from coming in. That's what the East German children were taught at age 3 and up. Because after all, the Western influence is just not what you want. You don't want to have a pair of Nike running shoes. You want to have a pair of running shoes made in Hungary by our Hungarian friends over there. Amazing. Anyway, I digress. As an old man sometimes does. And if I am boring you to tears, I apologize. If I am thrilling you to no end, I meant to do it. Thank you all for being here, following me, and I hope you're finding whatever I can bring to you interesting and enlightening. I don't know. I'll do the best I can with what little I got. What time is it? It's 18 minutes to the opening, if I got my timing right. GameStop, $71 a share on the pre-market. Hello. We've only had 1.4 million shares trade on GameStop. Does that tell you something? It tells me that with only 1.4 million shares trading on the pre-market, and it's up to 71-ish, there's a lack of stock for sale under duress. There's a lack of stock that must be unloaded by brokers to cover accounts, because in the last 10 days, if you're an investor, if you're a buyer of GameStop, you have to have cash, and there's virtually no stock left, I think, on margin. I don't know what the margin requirements are right now from brokerage firms. But 71.25 a share, up on only 1.4 million shares of trading. I have not seen an announcement on GameStop from the company that I'm aware of. If you see one, try to get my attention and let me know. But I don't see anything from the company at this point in time. Other stocks over here at Virgin Group Acquisition Corp, VGAC, VG Acquisition, 1672 on the pre-market, up 69 cents. That stock does not want to back off to 14, 15 bucks a share, where it kind of was before the announcement that they were going to merge with 23andMe. And I find that an interesting thing. We'll see how this kind of works out as the day goes on. This being the first trading day after the weekend. The announcement came out on Thursday morning that they were merging with 23andMe, and I personally like this deal, but we'll see. I have another merger to talk to you about. There's a new one. Write down this symbol, or those of you who are, technically way ahead of me, type this in on your notes or something for your digital device. I love it. Thank you, AB, for this donation. The symbol GHVI, George Henry Victor Ida. It's called Gores Holdings 6 Inc. It's the 6th SPAC that the Gore entity has put out. Ironically, China's markets are unregulated. Fake companies and pump and dumps are commonplace. Considered economic growth and nearly encouraged. Thank you, AB, for that. Yeah, do not trust a single stock over there. You've got to be out of your mind. Lady B, GHVI. That's the symbol right there. That is a company that's a SPAC. Went public at $10 a share. They raised a whole bunch of money, and they're merging with a company called Matterport, 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 one word, Matterport. Matterport is a private company going to go fold itself into the SPAC, and then it'll become the Matterport company. The company will be MTTR on the exchange. Should close in about 3 months. Second quarter of 2021, like the Virgin deal. Upon listing, the enterprise value is estimated at $2.9 billion. The company will have cash on hand of something like $640 million in cash. And what does Matterport do? They are a 3D imaging company giving virtual tours of buildings and locations. So let's say you're a franchise owner of the Marriott hotel chain, and you just built a brand new hotel in Miami, let's say, and you want to get room reservations through Trivago and Expedia and everything else, and you want all the travel agents of the world to know that there's this glorious new property that you just opened up, or it's a new casino in Vegas, or it's a new property in Hong Kong or in Singapore, doesn't matter. You will use Matterport. You can theoretically use a cell phone, your iPhone, and download an app from Matterport, and you can walk around a hotel room with this phone, and you can record a virtual tour of the room and of the resort in general. You've got floor plans that you have from your architects and designs and all that. You can merge together the floor plan imagery along with the physical imagery with Matterport's software. If you're into like cruise ships, which I am, you would use someone with a Matterport software. In other words, you hire someone to film the new ship you just built, billion-dollar cruise ship, and you'll have cameras going all over the ship, every deck, all over the place. And this will then be uploaded for people to just click and watch whatever they want to know about. You're doing a home renovation project. You can take your plan. Your architect will say, your contractor will say, okay, the room we're going to do, your rec room, is 12 feet by 20 feet or whatever it is, and he'll show you the overhead. And then he can, with this software, you can imagine what the room will look like when we're done with it, however you're going to design it, and you can see the version going forward. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about. For new homes, you're a real estate agent. You want to sell a house that's already on the market. You can use this to walk through the house with the phone as the camera, or you can use a higher grade camera and their software to really do the 3D walkthrough. Brand new homes, new subdivisions, absolutely the developers will use this. And for insurance claims, you've got a house, you've moved into your house, and you got all your furniture is all out, and you got your favorite artwork on the wall, and you got grandma's silver tea service in the hutch, and you want to, for insurance purposes, you want to have a record of everything you own to be protected against fire insurance, theft, you name it, burglary. You walk around your house and you record your house. You record everything in it for the insurance company and for your personal records, because this video is now in the cloud. It's yours. And if the house burns down, and even if your phone is in the house and it burnt, you get a new iPhone or whatever you're getting, and you can log into your accounts because it's all digital, and there's your file for the insurance company, and you can show off to the insurance company, we lost this, this is the couch we bought, this is the dining table, this is our I had an artwork piece I paid $5,000 for, and you're showing the insurance company the loss. Helps with claims. This is what these guys do. This and I'm only scratching the surface of Matterport. I'm only scratching the surface of Matterport. but they have been in talks with this entity for a few days. The deal has been announced officially. It's a done deal. It's going to happen. And there's a secondary financing being done of almost $300 million, led by Tiger Global, Senator Investment Group, and Fidelity, and others. Again, Wall Street is behind this merger and is funding it on top of the money that's in the SPAC already. And so I recommend that one to you as something to take a good look at. It might be an interesting buy. The stock was $14 a share, something like that. I'm not sure where it's at right now. How are we doing for time? We're almost opening in 10 minutes on the market. Let's see if I can give you a quote on it as I wait for my computer to wake up. Here we go. GHVI. It's 1365 in the pre-market, up 91 cents. For Gores Holdings 6 Inc. This is the 6th SPAC these guys have put together. They had done a SPAC worth $16 billion. It was a mortgage finance company deal, and it was a $16 billion SPAC, the largest SPAC done to this moment in time. And here's one for a $3 billion deal, and they just keep pumping them out. Most fascinating and most interesting. I'm going to keep you up on these new SPACs coming up that are turning into real companies. I like SPACs. I like the concept of SPACs a whole bunch, because when you're buying into a SPAC, you're buying into the management of the SPAC who are sitting on a pile of cash. And then you're letting them find an entity that they feel is worthy of their money, because they're going to become shareholders of that thing, to bring in. And I love it when these outfits announce the deals. That's when I'm interested in really looking at them to buy them, or to recommend people to buy them. I don't buy them myself. But this one here I like. I also heard this morning another interesting piece of news. Again, I told you earlier today, I did a video yesterday about hedge funds. And I mentioned in that video, how they work and how many there are and how much money they handle. And I then commented and showed a few photos to you of some of the biggest hedge fund people that we've heard of. They're more like public figures, the kind of hedge fund managers that you may have or may not have heard of. One of them that I mentioned yesterday was a gentleman by the name of Paul Singer. Paul Singer runs a hedge fund group called Elliott Management. And Elliott Management, let me take a look at my notes here, $23 billion in management in his hedge fund as of 2013. So I'm sure it's a lot more than that by now. He also runs another portfolio of $8.1 billion on top of that. Mr. Singer and Elliott Management are in active discussions, which means they're about to announce a deal with Wall Street brokerages to raise $1 billion for a new SPAC. So Mr. Singer and his guys and girls are going to have a publicly traded SPAC not too long from now with $1 billion cash in it, and then go find a company for it. This to me, I love this, because I'm thinking, okay, I get approached by these guys. I have a private company that's worth $4 billion, $5 billion. They come to me and say, we'd like to take you public. We'd like to talk to you about the possibility of going public. And I say, well, I've been looking into it. I'm not sure if I want to do an IPO. And they say, well, why don't you consider going public via a SPAC? And I say, well, what's the advantage to me? Why should I deal with you guys? And they say, well, Mr. Singer, who runs the Elliott Management Company with 20-something billion under management, another 8 over here, he runs $30 billion. And he knows everybody, and everybody knows him. He likes your company, and he likes what you're about. And we can work a deal where we can list you on the New York Stock Exchange, for example. And with $1 billion in the bank already, we can add another $1 billion on a private placement right away. And you could go public with $2 billion cash in the bank. All you have to give up is about 19 to 20% of your ownership of your corporation, because that gets you this $2 billion. That gets you this New York Stock Exchange listing. That gets you the Paul Singer connection as your in your Rolodex. Is that worth it to you? I'm going, where do I sign? Yeah, no kidding. Is it worth to me? It's really worth it to me. And this is why I love this deal with Virgin the Virgin Group deal with 23andMe, because we're talking about the Richard Branson, the Richard Branson SPAC and his promotion machine. Richard Branson is the king of promotion. You want to promote a property in St. Bart's, you want to promote going to space, you want to promote airlines. I don't care if he's made money, lost money, had an airline go bankrupt or not. I don't care. I have a company like 23andMe. I want to become a public entity. I need two things going public. I need money to be public, which is being provided in spades, 950 million. But I also need to be promotable. I need my story to be talked about, and I need a mouthpiece that will blow out the story about what my company is about. And so when I make a deal with another company, I need to be able to promote the bejesus out of that. And that's why you arrange a deal with a Richard Branson SPAC. That if you need to go public with serious cash and serious access to additional cash, you go public through a SPAC run by Mr. Paul Singer and his guys over at Elliott Management. It's just like, duh, this is like 101. Hello. Yes, of course you do that. Do you go public with a SPAC where Uncle Bruce raises $100 million from investors on a SPAC and then brings it? No, you don't. You don't do that, because Bruce hasn't got enough reach. There are 2,400 people watching him right now, and I hope they're giving him thumbs up, and I hope they're subscribing to his channel. But with 50,000 subscribers and with I don't know how many thumbs ups and how many viewers, I'm not big enough. If I had 150,000 viewers here right now watching everything I say, I'd have power. 2,400 is a nice crowd, and I really appreciate all of you being here. But we're just a small little group of people who are following what's going on in specific stocks. But as a private company going public, if you got a Mr. Brian Singer, Paul Singer coming, or an emissary of Paul Singer coming by to visit with you to have a coffee, I'd be paying for that coffee. I'd be asking, would you like something else with the coffee? How about a little nosh? Or how about staying for lunch? Yeah, I'd be showing you the tour of the plant, the factory, or the office, and showing you the books. And yeah, I would be very interested in having this kind of a partnership, because I'm going to make that guy or whoever he wants to be on my board of directors. Absolutely. That is exactly what I would love to do. All right. Let's see, we got some people here we have to let go. There's some folks here who just are, not really want to play ball with us very nicely. So we have to let some people go from time to time. Again, thank you for being here. I try to look after some of the trolls. Not easily done all the time. Also, thank you, Nick, for this donation. This is great. Hi, Bruce. Last week, you recommended buying VGAC stock, VGAC, with cash and not doing options or warrants. Yes, but can you explain what warrants are and how they work? Yes, I can. So when the SPAC went public originally at $10 a unit, I think, the unit consisted of one share. And if I recall on this, I could be wrong, but I thought it was a 1/3 unit, a 1/3 of a warrant, and one whole warrant. So for every 3 units you bought, you had 3 shares and 1 warrant. Now, when you have a warrant, you have the option to buy another share from the Treasury at $11.50 a share, up until about 1 year after the merger is announced, or 30 days after the shares trade at a set price. That might be $20 a share for 20 straight days in a row or more. You then have to exercise a warrant or let it go. Something like that. These all vary. They all vary. But that's what this one might be. Pardon me one second. The warrant is like an option, but you don't know when it expires exactly. You have your initial, it's a 1-year deal, a 1-year warrant after the announce of the merger. So when 23andMe and Virgin Group merge together, list on the New York Exchange as 23andMe, your warrant will now be a 23andMe warrant. And you have the option to buy 1 share of 23andMe for every 3 warrants you've got. And I believe that's the ratio. It might be 4 to 1. They can be 5 to 1. They can be 2 to 1, but I think it's 3 to 1. But anyway. So if the shares trade at less than $20 a share, that warrant has a 1-year lifespan. That's like a 1-year option on stock. but the option is really 1 share for every 3 you've got. The warrants will trade on their own as a separate listing while the shares are trading, and they do right now. The shares of VGAC are trading, the shares are trading, and the warrants are trading. And you, as a holder of warrants, if you bought, say, let's say you bought the units, which very few, if any of you have them, whatever number of units you have 100 units because you bought 300. Sorry, you have 100 warrants because you bought 300 units. You can sell your 100 warrants on the open market. You got 15 of them, you can sell them. And they're trading for a premium because the shares are trading at $16 and the warrants are exercisable at $11.50. So if it's a $5 difference between the stock price, exercise price, and the share price, which it is at the moment, these warrants, if there's 3 to 1 that you need, they're worth about $1.70 a piece in book value, plus the time value. Because you've got a lot of time to exercise the warrant right now. You have at least a year, or you'll have less if the shares go over 20. Well, if the shares go to $21.50, you're $10 in the money for every warrant you got. That means each warrant is worth $3.33 book value. And so the company will want to, let's speed up this exercise of these warrants, because who won't exercise their warrants? You have an opportunity to buy stock at $11.50 from the treasury of the company. It's trading at $21.50. You'll do it. Of course you will. If you don't want to do it, you can sell the warrant in the open market. Whoever buys the warrant, they'll exercise it. And I can tell you that the company has already made arrangements with brokers to exercise all warrants the minute they come up at the end of the deal. So every warrant out there will be exercised into stock at $11.50 a share, more money into the treasury of 23andMe going forward. So that's how that works. All right. So if they're worth right now $170 book value, they might be trading at $3.50 right now, $1.80 premium value, time value. This because you've got time to decide when to buy these shares or not from the treasury at $11.50 a share. So that's how that works. So there are people who are buying and selling the warrants on speculation. They're figuring, well, I can buy the stock at $16.50, or I can buy the warrant at $3.50. I'm guessing it's $3.50. I don't even know what they are. If they're $3.50, they're $3.50. $5, they're $5. But some people want to buy the warrants because they're cheaper, because they give them an option to buy stock, like an option, and they just want more leverage. I recommend use cash only, buy the stock, sit back, cross your hands, and go, thank you. I own the stock. I'm in now, and now I will wait for the merger to be done and let 23andMe do what they're going to do as a public company with the Richard Branson promo machine to exploit and expose the story globally. And that's what you want. That's the ultimate promotion. That is gold, Jerry. It's gold, absolutely gold. All right. And this deal here with GHBI, Gores Holdings. Again, these guys have deep connections to Wall Street as well. Deep. They, like I said, they're taking this company public with $640 million. The Matterport company will have $640 million cash in its books, with all kinds of upward potential. Yeah, this is an interesting story. I think they'll do well. And again, I wouldn't be afraid of buying the shares on the open market, either now or later. Like I said, Gores Holdings, $13.63. This is $3.63 more than the investors paid for their units, although they did get some warrants. To me, this is a bargain deal, because I heard this morning there's an IPO cooking right now of another company that they're trying to do a pricing on, and that they've raised the number of shares they're going to offer to the street, and they've raised the price per share. And I'm sitting back going, yeah, well, as a retail investor, it sounds great for the company, but for a retail investor, it's bad news, because you can't get into that deal. You can't get into this private company. It's going to go public. You can't buy it now. You're never going to get IPO stock because you're not on the preferred buyer list of these major brokerage firms in New York. And when it opens up for trading, it'll be 50% higher or more on the open market. Again, not guaranteed, but it wouldn't surprise me. And it gets underwritten at 40, it'll start at 60, or it'll get underwritten at 35, it starts at 70. And that's where you can get in. And I'm kind of going, I'm sick and tired of retail investors being the last guys on a full bus. I'd rather be on the bus with management as the deal is going down. And that's what these SPACs are offering you when they announce these kinds of deals. And so the Virgin deal and this Gores deal, I like the fact that, yeah, I'm happy to pay 30 to 50% more, in theory, 60% more than the initial offering of the stock. But I like the fact that the minute that merger is completed, you've got a multi-billion-dollar deal here that is going to be promoted like you cannot believe. Think about DraftKings. DraftKings was a $10 SPAC that merged. The SPAC went public and they merged DraftKings, a privately held gambling entrepreneur company out of Boston, in there, and it's what, $45-50 a share. I'd have happily paid $14-15 a share had I had the chance, had the stock been there. I don't know the details going back now, but yeah, I'm happy. That's as close to ground floor as you're going to get. That's as close to seed investing as you're going to get, because unfortunately, a company that goes public and starts trading at $70 a share, you look at the history of the deal over the last 2 years, you go back in time and you'll go, wow, I wish I could have bought this thing when they were doing seed financing 6 months before they announced that they were going public. I could have bought in at $5 a share, $10 a share privately. Then they did they did some more financing at 10, 15, announced they were going to go IPO route at 35, 40, did that, then started trading at $80 a share. I'd love to have been in at 5 or 10. Yeah. Well, all the friends and relatives and initial investors got that shot. Not you. You got in, you got offered, you were invited to the party once the party was well underway at $70 a share. I just can't justify paying that kind of price. I have a problem with that. That's just maybe, again, probably because I'm very, very old. Anyway, there you go. We're open, are we not? 7:36. I think we're up and running. The Dow is up 197 points, and we're hitting all-time highs on the exchanges. The exchanges are excited. The investors are excited because of the $1.9 billion stimulus package that is going to pass. It is going to happen. And there's a ton, obviously $1.9 trillion is coming into Americans' fingers. This will be good for America, and that will trickle into this market in one way or another. Not all of it, but a portion of it. $67.10 on Gamestop we are now trading at, up $3.68 to start the day. So Gamestop is not getting hammered. The shares with sell orders left, right, and center to start the day. It's actually up a little bit, and that is a much better environment. The high apparently this morning was 72.61 for a trade or two, but the low 66. It's now $67. Volume 3.9 million. That is a fraction of what we've had lately. Again, panic selling is gone. Sellouts are gone. Not happening with GameStop. The question now going forward for this week for GameStop will be, are they going to bring out an announcement on what they're up to? Do they have anything to say for themselves? And let's see how the shares perform now that that we're back to kind of a regular flowing market of some kind on GameStop itself. Other shares to watch. The Virgin Group is at $16.52, up 48 cents. AMC is down 24 cents to $6.59, not getting any upside at this point. Bed Bath & Beyond is up 73 cents to $27.27. That's up like $2 or $3 from its lows last week or so. And then BlackBerry up another dollar, $14.22 for BlackBerry. It has bounced back from a low in the roughly the 11.50 range last week for a while. 11.20 range on the 3rd of February. That would be 5 days ago. It is now $14.19 a share. And so BlackBerry has definitely also been flushed out of margin account selling and all of that. They've cleaned it up, and it's looking a lot better. GameStop, a 67-ish a share, $66.50, $67 a share, improving so far on the morning. It hit a low last week, $53.40 a share or something like that. That was, I think, Friday at one point, and it hasn't been back there since. I know that pre-market or aftermarket, it was in the high 40s for a brief moment in time and has not been back there since. So interesting how this is all moving along. All right. I hope you're finding this interesting today. Let's see here. Bruce, how are your views on the news that BlackRock have increased their holdings in GameStop to $173 million? I like it. I like it. Again, I'm not sure how accurate that is and how recent that is, and if that's absolutely current at this moment, I don't know. Mike is saying 3.1 million trades is nothing. Last week we would have over 20 million in the first 30 minutes. Exactly. That is exactly right. What do we got here? Let's give a shout out to Jen for always keeping her Uncle Brucey fed with bagels to quench his thirst with Diet Coke. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm sure she thanks you. 69 on GameStop now. 69.13 on GameStop. 4 million traded this morning. That's improving. Virgin acquisition is 1637. It's still up 33. It was higher on the opening, 1772. It's now 1637. If it gets into that 1415 range, that's where I would pull the trigger if I were a buyer of this stock. And I would just get my accumulation done and sit on the sidelines and enjoy and don't even worry about where it goes from there. But I am crossing my fingers that it actually will come down a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Let me punch in on my machine here, the GHVI. So let's do that. GHVI, and I'll put that up here. There it is. I'll add that to my watch list. There it is. It's $13.11 a share right now for GHVI. That's where it's at. Interesting. And we'll see how it performs going forward. Like I said, I like the deal. I like the participants, the partners, the plan. Yeah, so $12.92 on GHVI. That's more attractively priced than the Virgin Group deal, and I'm not afraid of that deal either. For going forward, the next 60, 90 days it'll take to close the merger, to list it on the New York Exchange. I think it's New York, and it'll be well funded. So there you go. Interesting. And they went public with 345 million originally as a SPAC, and now they're raising 295 million on a secondary offering upon the completion of this merger. Like part of this merger, 300 million more is being raised by Wall Street and these partners to fund this thing up to 640. So that's a very strong indication of interest from Wall Street for a $3 billion deal. It'll be 20% cash right off the bat. Good spot to be in. Way to go, you guys. There you go. GameStop jumping around a little bit, 67.26, up 3.49 a share. The other news on the day, of course, is our friend Mr. Elon Musk and Tesla. The stock is up 17.85 a share to 8.70. Tesla announced this morning that the company had made an investment into a Bitcoin, that the corporation bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin as an investment, and the company going forward is going to do business in cash and Bitcoin, so that literally there will be people buying Teslas or Tesla solar systems, what have you, and they can use either cash or Bitcoin or a combination of the two. I find that most interesting. Bitcoin is still up nicely on the day, 12.3% gain on Bitcoin at 43,389, up 4,779 on the day. Most interesting how that is falling into place. I wonder all about that. Interesting. Now, other news this morning was that Tesla had been summoned by Chinese regulators with regards to quality control issues at the China plant for Tesla automobiles. And that story for a while seemed to hold back the Tesla shares from doing much. It actually depressed the stock by about maybe $8 to $10 a share in the pre-market. But then the Bitcoin announcement came out, and that's reversed everything, and it's now up to $870 odd a share right now, up 2% on the morning, because with the gain of Bitcoin, Tesla is actually up almost 500 million in value as a company on their 1.5 billion investment in Bitcoin. So he makes money. He makes money by buying a different kind of money. Now that's called the golden touch. And right now, Elon and his group are running on all cylinders. It's just working out for the group at Tesla. left, right, and center. It's just working out. And man, oh man, I tip a cap if I'd have one to these guys. I just put 500 buckaroos on GHVI. Wait and see. Thanks, says AB. Way to go. I'm impressed. I will say. Gary Regan, thank you for your donation. Hi, Bruce, watching all the way from Ireland. Love your attitude. Keep doing you, and thanks for helping me understand the stocks. Eric Hong, thanks. Thank you guys for these donations to the show through Super Chats. Those of you making donations and have been making donations to me through PayPal, thank you, all of you out there. These donations have been coming in from around the world in all these different currencies. Love you guys for that. I do appreciate it. And again, thank you for joining the channel and following in on my chats, throwing in your ideas as well and what you're hearing out there. Also, those of you on Redbubble, picking up some Redbubble merch. Oh, man, thank you. You can buy a few items with Stock Markets with Bruce on it, or Gamestop with Uncle Bruce. I got more of this kind of stuff coming. You'll just have to give me some time to produce more logos. I have actually viewers who are graphic designers who are volunteering to send us logos, and a few have come through here. We're just going over them, and we're trying to decide just how and what direction we're going. But all of you picking up merchandise, Jen just said hello to me. She's up now. Those of you picking up TWB mugs and Stock Markets with Bruce stuff, thank you. All of you guys. That is just phenomenal. Love it. Alrighty, let me double check now on the markets. Let me kind of plug in my phone and take a peek at that. Here we go. Alrighty, we are now at the Gore holding deal that I told you about, the SPAC that is going to become Matterport. That stock is 1306 right now, up 80 cents. The street likes what they hear, obviously. Virgin Group at 1577. I finally see a 15 handle on this thing. That could be good news. I'm happy. Like I said, I'm happy about it because I like the deal, and the lower it comes in at, the better. Dabs Queen, we love Uncle Bruce. Thank you, Dabs Queen, for your donation. I really appreciate it. Megan, thank you for this donation, $42.69. Thank you. Good morning, guys. Thank you, Megan, for being a wonderful supporter of this channel. Love you. GameStop up $1.44 to $65.21. It's finding its sort of a range today between 63 and 72. Most of it has been 65 to 68 a share so far today. Volume 5.9 million shares, much lower than lately, which tells me that there isn't a lot of forced selling coming in here. It's been up all morning positively. Not a lot, but it just is consolidating this position from what I can see what's going on. There you go. Mr. Bauer saying Megan's the boss. She's making donations to Bruce. Super Mario. Megan, way to go. Megan got banks, says Stonks Doctor, and Max is loving Megan too. Thank you, all of you, and Megan, definitely. Thank you. Eric, have you heard much about the upcoming Bumble IPO? That's the dating app. That's what I was mentioning this morning. I didn't give the name. I was saying that I heard about an IPO this morning that was being upped. It's the Bumble IPO. It's a dating app, and it is being upped in how many shares they're going to issue, and they're upping the price, which is telling me there's interest, but it's telling me that you as a retail investor will have to be paying double the IPO price when it opens for trading, because it'll be hyped. And I would rather you get in before the IPO and enjoy the hype after. And that's why I mentioned these SPACs that are merging with what I think are pretty cool companies with serious Wall Street backing. That's why I mentioned it. $15.98 on the Virgin Group acquisition company, down 6 cents. Not down a lot, but it's under 16. Interesting. The Dow itself is up 194 points. Let's take a look at our market today. S&P up 1968, NASDAQ up 84. All indices are now at the highs of all time, and that's interesting. Walt Disney, Goldman Sachs share gains. Again, people are buying Disney for I don't know what reason. I'm the kind of guy that wonders, okay, I understand that Disney You know, they have their television network. They own ABC. They own ESPN. They have their digital service now. I get all that, but their parks are not operating at full capacity, and there are parks around the world that are shut down. I keep asking myself, why would you be wanting to chase this stock when they are not firing on all cylinders? They are still bleeding red money, red ink. They're not making money. The stock is constantly being upgraded by Wall Street analysts. I really wonder what this means. It's up 465 to 185 a share. The 52-week high is 186. It does not have a price earnings multiple because there are no earnings at Disney right now. And I kind of go, really? Really? All-time high and no earnings. What? What are they going to do? Are they going to sell off assets? Are they going to spin off the parks into a public company? Are they going to spin off their media into a public company, separate company? What is the attraction to the stock? I have a real tough time wondering what's going on. I just, you know, if you close the gates and don't let anybody in, you can't sell any candy, and you can't offer any rides, and you can't sell souvenirs. What am I missing here? But, you know, I will say this. I mean, I'll bring it back to GameStop. I'll literally bring it back to GameStop. If this company, Disney, is trading at all-time highs, at least 52-week highs, which I think are all-time highs, because of their digital footprint and their online presence and all that, and they're likely doing online sales of their souvenirs and all this kind of thing, and all these, you know, things you can buy, then GameStop will benefit too. As GameStop gets out of brick and mortar a lot faster than Disney can, I'll tell you that, because Disney can't get rid of the theme parks. GameStop will be all digital within the next year and a half. They'll be completely digital, and GameStop can trade at unbelievable margins as well. Unbelievable, you know, price earnings expectations, or sales to earnings, or sales to share price, whatever margin, whatever metric you want to use. It's a much higher metric for share pricing. And Disney at 188, you got to be kidding me. They're losing money. GameStop, it could be hundreds of dollars a share then, hundreds of dollars a share, if that is the way they're going to go. If that's how the street wants to value this stuff. 66.91 on GameStop, popping back up a little bit again. This is, again, just me. The gentleman called Uncle Bruce by many of his followers, giving you my take on it as I see it from this angle over here. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Tesla 865, up $12. GameStop 66. Virgin Group 1593. The SPAC for Gore Holdings 1373. Royal Caribbean, the cruise stock, is up 42 cents, defying logic yet again. Bed Bath & Beyond up a little bit, up 11 cents. BlackBerry up 47 cents. AMC at 639, not doing very well today. That's just the way it is. What can I tell you? The Dow up 193. Doing great. New highs. I think those new highs. S&P up 19. Nasdaq up 78. All new highs. And on the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin up $5,000 today, 13% at 43,600. Mind blowing to me that that it's trading as high as it is in any event. But that Tesla now has jumped in with a $1.5 billion buy, and it makes you wonder about other companies, especially online sellers. And remember, Tesla's an online car seller. 1,400 times earnings they're trading at. They're an online car seller. GameStop is going to be an online game seller. I'd love to see GameStop trade at 1,400 times earnings a year from now. If they were making $1 a share, they'd be at $1,400 a share. Just to kind of put it in perspective, that's what Tesla is trading at. Although Tesla is, way big, amazing. But if other companies like Amazon buy a Bitcoin currency for Bitcoin transactions, if if Walmart buys Bitcoin to handle online and retail Bitcoin transactions, what if you can go into Walmart next month and stand in line at the 12 item or less counter, pick up $50 worth of stuff and pay with Bitcoin right there? Could that happen? That legitimizes Bitcoin, doesn't it? Amazing. Life is just 21. Good morning, Bruce. Thank you so much. Don't forget to stay hydrated. Also, how do you feel about GameStop in the long term, 5-10 years? Thank you for that reminder. I like GameStop going forward as a company. I like the direction you're going to go. I like the people they brought in to get them there. I like the people they're hiring to get them there. But I'm probably early, because every analyst in Wall Street will look at me and say, Bruce, you're 18 months ahead of the crowd. The stock could be a lot lower between now and then before it goes higher. They could be right. I could be right. You could be right. But I'm looking at it going, if you own GameStop for cash and you just put it away and sit on it and let them do what they do, I think you might make some money on this deal. Longer term, you will. Now, is longer term 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 4 years? Can't answer that question today. But as each week goes by and GameStop will come up with new corporate updates for us, their annual meeting is coming up, their year-end financials are coming up, they can't keep up with game system stock sales. There might be an earnings surprise coming out shortly. And then a first quarter estimate of how they think they're going to do. There could be some upgrades, financial estimate upgrades coming from GameStop that could have a profound effect on the shares immediately, because companies trade on future potential, not on past. But I think these Wall Streeters who are following GameStop, they're looking at GameStop from a year ago, and they just can't turn their heads around and go, why don't you look forward, see what they're headed? But it's okay. 65.55 on the stock, 65.80, up $2 on GameStop. 122 DRO, $5 donation. Disney and is great, and Verizon customers all get it for free for a year and now hooked and will start paying for it. This is what happens with new services and new digital plans, of course. And the Disneys of the world are not stupid. They're sharp cookies. They know how to be involved with it and how to take advantage of a deal. Absolutely. So there you go. More power to these guys. But again, 180 something a share, a little expensive. Just a little expensive. Bruce likes the stock. People are saying Uncle Bruce has been right for a year on both of his channels. Good morning, Bruce. He says, Luke, how you doing, Luke? Ninja, if my game average is 130, may I have long-term benefits? Oh man. Again, if those of you who own GameStop, you have 100 or more shares, I would tell you to write options against your stock and take an income while you're holding it. You can always write $100 call contracts and take in some money, whether they're 2-week contracts, expiry, 3, 5, 10 months, whatever you want, 2 months, 5 months, up to you. But I'd be taking advantage of the opportunity to bring in some pretty good premium money from options on GameStop. I'd be doing that, absolutely. All righty. Megan, yep, Elon just bought over $1 billion of Bitcoin, $1.5 billion through Tesla in January. He did it in January. Adam, opinions on PANW and the cybersecurity space after SolarWind? I have no opinion on it. I don't know anything about it. Why are people still staying in AMC despite nothing illegal has happened? There are people who believe in the recovery of games of AMC and others, and they're gonna stick around and hope for the show. Is averaging down even a good strategy? Well, it can be. It depends on your objective. Can you handle, say, an investment for the long term? If let's say you're buying ETFs and you like ETFs for, say, in the technology index, the FANG stocks. You don't have enough money to buy Apple and Google and Netflix and Microsoft and Facebook with enough money, but you can buy an ETF or into an ETF. I'd recommend you do that. If you're buying on a trading platform, then throwing in $100 a week into your account, or every couple of weeks, a $500 here, $200 here, $100 there, $50 here. Slowly but surely, you're throwing money in there, and you're just buying more ETF. Every time you get more cash, you buy another $50 of the same ETF, or another $20, or $80, or $200. You're averaging up or down. You don't know, because when you bought the ETF, it was at one level, it went up a little bit, you bought some more, it went down a little bit, you bought some more. You don't care. You're just building a position. Well, if you're going to do that with GameStop longer term, that is a sounder strategy rather than guessing the all-time low of the stock. Or if you got in on the hype, you got in at 300 a share, that puts you in a tough spot when it's at 65. On the other hand, buying now at 65, if you're buying GameStop for the next 2 or 3 months between 50 and 80 a share, or 62 and 79, or whatever it's going to be here, you're just, every time you're buying more stock, you're bringing down your overall cost on all of it. Eventually, you'll get to the point where your average price might be under $100 again per share, and any kind of a breakout for the company going forward, and might be 6 months from now, 8 months from now, they announce that 80% of our sales are digital. We're down to 1,500 stores, and we're still going down lower. That company now could start trading at, let's say it trades at 120 a share, and your average is 98. You're a happy customer because you were a $320 average. You're now a $98 average. You're at 120. Still, do you get out, or are you just going to keep buying it? And you again, your long term, you might just keep accumulating it because you're expecting or looking for the company to go, 90% plus digital sales, global market, and a lower cost factor because they were dropped 5,000 leases off of their books, and hundreds of thousands of employees have been let go, replaced by thousands of employees in the warehouses and distribution center. Much more efficient entity. Could be a good deal. Anyway, these are just it's just Bruce reacting to comments. Dabs Queen, we love Uncle Bruce. Again, thank you for all these comments. I think I'm looking at my big ass iPad, and I see these donations coming in, and I just realized I think my computer is my my big ass iPad is behind, and I'm looking here live. So sorry about that. I'm just trying to keep up with everybody. Although I have noticed a few donations coming and I missed them. Thank you guys. There you go. All righty. Thanks for being here. GameStop now 65 a share, of $1.20. We're now about half an hour into the market, and on CNBC they're talking about stocks priced for perfection. They're beginning to use that word. Do you know what that means? Have you any idea what that means? You don't want to hear that. No, you don't want to hear that term if you're owning a stock where they say the shares you hold are priced to perfection. You don't want to be that shareholder short term, because what might happen is we may have a scenario where the company is about to release financials, and no matter what they say, no matter how good those financials are, they won't be good enough because the stock is overpriced for the expected delivery of financials that are coming. That could be it. Now, this happened to Apple about 2 weeks ago. We had Apple shares running up after having a bit of a dip a little while back. Let me go back to my Apple shares here on my phone. Here we go. Here we are right there. Let me go 3 months. All right, here's a 3-month chart on Apple. All right, and the chart starts here in November and comes up to the present day. And they had a run. They moved up. They got to about there, and they had a little dip. And then they had this surge right up to there. You see that surge right there? Sorry about the shakiness. That surge took them to $145.09. That was the high trade of all time for Apple. And it had come up from about, let me just double check here. It had come up from about 127 to 149, a $22 gain in Apple, valuing the company at $2.4 trillion. They came out with their finances, their numbers, their quarterly numbers. Made all kinds of money being made by Apple, but the stock dropped. It went right away within a couple of sessions to 131 from 145. It dropped $14 a share because the stock was priced to perfection at $149 or $145 a share. In other words, it was overpriced, and no matter how much money they said they made, it wouldn't be enough to stop profit taking, because you do something called There's a term called sell on the news. As soon as the news is out, dump it, because you got to run. And now get the hell out and look for a pullback and then get back in again. And so a lot of pros dumped the stock on the day they announced their financials, or were announcing the financials that night. They were selling it right all the way through it, because at that point in time, it was hitting its highs. They got out, stood on the sidelines, watched the company make the announcement, watched the fallout of the stock, watched everyone analyze the money. Everyone is Sunday. 1 million YouTubers posted videos on how much money Apple made and what the prospects were. Completely normal. And the shares backed off, and then they reassumed the position, like on Animal House, assumed the position. And they got back in at 130, 196, 132, 133. Shares right now 136. And they're poised to enjoy the run as it goes, but there are these dips. So if you're into a stock where their market is saying they're priced to perfection and their earnings are coming out later this week, that could be bad news for the stock. That could be. The only way it'll continue to go up is if the company announces a special cash dividend of $20 a share for a $150 stock, or they announce a split. They announce a stock like Amazon, 3,200 a share. They announce a 5-for-1, which they didn't. But if they did, or they announced a 10-for-1 split and have the shares be recalibrated at 320, that would keep the party going. Apple did announce a stock split 5 months ago, when the quarterlies came up before that, and the shares had a lovely run. They kept on going, but they don't do stock splits every 3 months. That does not happen. That happens every once in a while. In the case of Apple, the shares are going to have to go over $250, $300 a share again, maybe 400, before they were to do another split. That's just the way Apple rolls. That's the way they like to go. Okay. Let's see, Bruce, NSS. Bruce, what are your thoughts on Virgin Group acquisition? I know you hope it'll drop down for a nice entry, but do you think it's realistic to see it under 15? Again, I've been recommending it. I've been saying it's now 15.73. It's down 31 cents. I've been speculating that as the days go by and we're further away from the big announcement that was made Thursday morning pre-market, we go forward every day, that story gets old, because we're in an 8-second attention span world. And since this company made this announcement, others have come up with their announcements. And so this one just kind of gets filed in there. And I have a feeling that the shares will moderate down a little bit. The initial pop happened to $18, and it's now 15.76. And it might well go under 15 again and come back to where they were before they even announced the deal. That's your point as a wise investor, patient investor, to nibble in there, get in there. That's how I look at it. You make your money. There's an expression in real estate that realtors love to use called "you make your money when you buy," and all that means is if you're a speculator in commercial real estate or in residential real estate, you're buying a piece of land that you want to develop. You make your money when you buy the asset. And you buy at a price that will show you that you're unlikely to lose a dime on this deal, because you got such a good bargain on what you got. You were a picky buyer. Maybe you put in a stink bid or a lower bid, and then the seller came down a little bit. You came up a bit, and you came down, and you made a deal that you were thrilled with. You make your money when you buy, and that's with stocks as well. And this is with this a Virgin SPAC, and the same thing with this Gore SPAC that I'm talking about today. You can chase it all you want, but I wouldn't recommend you chase it. There's no need to chase the Virgin Group stock at the moment, because it's going to take 3 months to finalize the merger in. So there might be this moment of time between the announcement of the deal and about 2 to 4 weeks in. Somewhere in there, you might get a window where the shares kind of lose some gas. People got too excited when they heard about the deal, and they bid it up, and they chased it 17, 18, 1850 a share on some of these aftermarkets. They bid it up and paid too high, and now they're getting out because they're going, oh, it's stuck on the $25. I thought it would go right to 25. Not happening, and now it's at 1586, coming in a little bit. This is an opportunity for some of you out there with patient hands. You make your money when you buy. So if you can get it, it comes back down to this 14, 15 range, and you can get in there at 14 and a half, 1470, 1430, whatever. That might be towards the low of the range. And as the deal comes up, gets ready for, we're getting ready for the merger to be announced and the switch over, the shares might pop back to 16, 17, 18 just before the listing and the conversion. Then it becomes 23andMe, and it's trading a 17 to 20 a share perhaps. And the new publicly traded company just comes out with a slew of announcements of what they're up to, because they can now talk publicly as the merged company. Maybe 22, 24, and 26 is where it's going to head right off the get-go. You got in at 14 instead of 18. You made more money than the person who bought the day after the announcement, because you waited a week after the announcement for it to come in, and then you kind of picked your spot. You make your money when you buy. And if it doesn't perform, if the shares just don't do anything great, and they only go to $19 a share, but there's just no excitement to it for whatever reason, maybe we're in the middle of a real market sell-off overall, you got in at 14 something and they're at 19, so you're up $5. That's a third of your money. Not bad. Those who bought at 18 are only up $1 or not up at all. That's how you differentiate yourself from the crowd. You're a patient, disciplined buyer of securities, and then you wait for the stock to deliver a return based on what you're expecting will come up news-wise. And that's why I talk about GameStop here. It's down $2 now, 61.50. Maybe the shares will test the lows again, and there's an opportunity to pick up some cheap stock. That could well be happening. That could well be the plan here. On the other hand, we've seen GameStop do these little tests of lows and then bounce ups, like a Super Bowl. It just kind of drops and then bounces up, and then settles down, bounces down, bounces up again. This is a stock finding itself. But again, I'm a long-term player. I would be a long-term player in GameStop, not second-to-second player in GameStop. All right. Thank you for these comments as I cough away. Excuse me. Let's see what's going on here. Buy GameStop today. Buy your mama Tesla tomorrow. GM with Super Bowl ads. Did you see the electric car? The General Motors electric car thing? Yeah, they're all getting into the Tesla game now. We shall see. Ammonia. I think GameStop will drop like crazy when the hype goes away, then pick up again in real value when the business improves. You could be right. Nicholas, in for 1,000 shares of Virgin. I like it. Right on. Again, I like the story. GameStop, $60, I'm going to say. 60.93 right now I'm showing here. And GameStop's a really cool stock, one saying. Invisible AIDS, thank you. What are your thoughts on Tesla stock? Like I said, it's a digital seller of cars and other merchandise. They used to have brick and mortar stores in many shopping malls with the cars. They don't anymore. They shut them down. Isn't that a fascinating thing? You used to be able to go to your favorite shopping mall and you could see Tesla cars in the shopping mall. They're gone now. There are now only Tesla centers for repairs and parts and to see the car. Very interesting how they've gone digital, and it hasn't hurt them a bit. Amazing. Too late for Tesla? Well, look, how long you want to hold it for? What's your timing? Do you think it's going to double in 3 months? Then you better hurry up and get in. But if you think it'll double over the next 2 or 3 years, you can pick your spots, because between January this year, they've been around the 780 to the 800 something range, or 871 today. They're up $18. They're getting a bit of a run today, but is that justified tomorrow or the day after? The Bitcoin move is being perceived as a positive thing by investors. But again, Bitcoin up $5,300 right now to almost 44,000, up 13.7%. Will Bitcoin in the next couple of days ease up back to 40,000 and cause Tesla to ease up back to $850 a share or less? We'll see. This Chinese regulator thing with quality issues, not sure quite what to make of that. I'm not worried about it for the company's long term, but there are issues with new factories, and there are glitches from time to time, but I'm sure Tesla will address it. Not a company killer. $60.58 on GameStop, down $3 a share. Volume on GameStop now on the day, let's take a look here. 9.4 million shares is what we're seeing on the GameStop stock so far today. There you go. Interesting. Thank you again for following my live show. We have 989 thumbs up so far today for this live show. Thank you, everybody, for supporting me with those thumbs ups and donations. You guys are awesome. If we can get up to 1,500 thumbs ups, that would be even better because of the momentum of the show. Those are free to hand out if you can do it. Thank you, guys. 1,000 thumbs ups, 11 down, even thumbs downs. If you want to give me a thumbs down, here's how you do it. You go to put your cursor over the thumbs down, hit it twice, and that's how you do it. Thank you, everybody, for helping out. Love the fact that we're getting viewers from around the world watching yours truly. I do appreciate all of you out there who are following me. Thank you for subscribing to Stock Markets with Bruce as well. Make sure to hit the bell notification icon. We're approaching 49,600 subscribers now. That is awesome stuff. Really excited about how that's coming together. Again, thank you for being here and tracking down my channel. And becoming regular viewers of these live shows, making comments, giving me your opinions, your thoughts, heads ups, whatever you're seeing, you're letting me in on it. 1,200 thumbs ups now. Fabulous, you guys. I really appreciate it. GameStop is on sale. That's right. It's on a discount, $59.42, under 60 now. It's on a discount. We'll see how it performs. PLTR, interesting news came out today with a partnership with IBM, furthering of a relationship there. That's Plantier, I think it's called. It had a bit of a pop this morning. I don't know the company very well. I don't know it very deeply, but PLTR had a bit of a pop this morning with this arrangement with IBM, deep-pocketed partner, and the shares, like I say, have had a bit of a pop there. IBM is an interesting company in that in the last 10 years at least, IBM has been buying back their own stock all the time. They've been buying back their own stock with all this cash they make. They've bought over, I think they've bought over 60% of all the shares that once existed in IBM. The float of IBM is at its lowest level in, I don't know, 30 years, 50 years, long time ago. I mean, a long time ago. But the stock just can't go anywhere. It just can't seem to catch a serious wave of interest. IBM since 1970, just looking back here, split adjusted was trading at $6, $5, $6, $8 in the 60s, and then in the 70s, $20 a share, $13 a share, 16, 15 a share, and then in the 80s, 15 to 38, 35, 20s, and then in 80, what would that be? In 93, it was $14 again, and they started buying up their shares to try to kind of reduce the float. They got the shares into the $90, $120 range way back when, and the all-time high for IBM was approximately, let's see if I can hold this steady, looks like about, what was that? Sorry, I'm having trouble. 2000 and what? There we go. 2013, $213 a share, March 2013, 8 years ago at $213. IBM right now, $123. And they've been trying to buy up paper to reduce the float, engineer their earnings higher per share. They're trading at 19.7 times earnings, a very low multiple for a high-tech company. They're up $1.23 today with this exciting Plantier news. it just doesn't catch the imagination of day traders. Unfortunately, IBM just doesn't have it. And they're viewed as a stodgy, old, white shirt, tie kind of company with engineers with the pencils in their pocket. That's the imagery. And the 30-year-old investor just isn't interested in getting involved in the IBM atmosphere, philosophy, plan. It's a solid company. I mean, solid. They make a lot of money. They're going to be around a long time, but they're just not sexy like Plantier, if I'm pronouncing that word correctly, or other companies that are into the high tech world like NVIDIA and chip makers and so on. But yeah, IBM, they've got Red Hat, they've got the cloud. They're solid, but they're not creating the buzz. Chris Hewitt, donation of $5. Thank you. Hey, Bruce, I'm brand new to the stock thing. I'm pretty much breaking even so far. What do you think of Nokia? I'm invested in Nokia. I don't know the Nokia story very well. I do know I believe that's the company that went public via a SPAC. They bought a battery, a truck company trying to make electric trucks. I believe, is that the right one? I'm trying not to screw this up. And I followed the debacle of the company where they were doing the rollout. They had a deal with GM, I think it was. Again, I'm asking, am I talking about the right one? Nokia. Am I right there? Hang on. Nokia, engagement in network infrastructure. I'm thinking about somebody else. Networks, Nokia Software, Nokia Technologies Group, another. Is that the Nokia you're talking about? NOK, stock symbol, $4.28 a share. Apologize if I'm obviously thinking of this other outfit. Remember that outfit with the electric trucks and all that? Looks like Nokia hit a high of about 650 a little bit ago, just before the end of January, on a bit of a run. But last November was $3.20 a share, now $4.28. Again, I just don't know enough about this company. 52-week range, 230 to 979. Market cap right now, 24 billion. There's a lot of stock out there. 5.5 billion shares. That's a ton of stock. Short interest, not enough. 1% short interest. That's not a short squeeze candidate. If that's the one you're into, it's going to take a ton of earnings for that stock to do anything good. I would probably not be in it. I wouldn't recommend people get in it, not with 5 billion shares out. If I'm reading this right, and I think I am, again, I apologize. I'm just going on the fly here because I don't know about it. Obviously, 5.6 billion shares out. Nope, I don't have confidence for a tremendous upside there, because they need to make 5 billion profit to have $1 a share in earnings. That's a tall order for that kind of a company. So, Chris, Chris, I don't know what you're into it for. I don't know how many you got, but I think there are other places you can go for better leverage, you know, you can always convert out of this and buy an ETF that owns this stock and other contemporaries. You might want to play that game for a little more stability, but it's boring. It might not be enough action for you, Chris. If you're looking for action, that's why you got this stock, because of the movement and volatility, then you're not investing, you're trading. And you've got to go after trades that, you know, can do better for you. But that's just old Uncle Bruce giving you old man advice, and you may not like it. Sorry. Okay. There you go, David. David Tan is saying, correct, Bruce. Nokia is a no-go if you want big gains. Scooter, any earnings coming out in the near future I should know about? If I have anything, I'll let you in on this. I'll see what's going on. Excuse me. Let's see here. And Rick is saying Nokia is a topic on stock interest on Reddit. Nick Matthias, I think Nokia is also 5G contracts here in Europe. Do your due diligence. So either involved in 5G or they've lost 5G contracts. Matthias is saying, Okay, just canceled my buy on Nokia. There you go. I got $4,000. I got $4,000. What should I buy right now with $4,000? I don't know what your timing is. Have you got a 1 week time frame? Is this money you need next month for a down payment on a house or a car? Is this money that you should be putting into an IRA? Have you got credit card debt at 28% that you'd be paying off instead? Is this cash that you've built up and that you don't need and you're looking to invest for the long haul, medium haul? Then you've got to look at different kinds of investments. Obviously, $4,000 you can split into four $1,000 units using a trading platform, kind of a brokerage firm, no commission. You could then get into 4 different ETFs, or you can get into 4 different stocks, or an ETF and 3 stocks, 2 ETFs and 2 stocks. I mean, there's a million combinations. I wouldn't put it all into one deal. I wouldn't be doing that. I would be diversifying it so that you have a life, that you don't go crazy and wake up at 2 in the morning going, what's happening in Frankfurt? What's happening in Tokyo? You don't want to be doing that, I don't think. Are you going to add to this money? Are you able to add $500 a month to this pot? And a year from now, you've got $9,000, $10,000. 2 years from now, you got $15,000, $20,000. Well, then you need to be diversified into some, reasonable holdings. Shop around for the best performing ETFs or index funds, perhaps. Look at the FANG stocks themselves. Maybe you'll buy $1,000 or $500 in 8 different stocks, starting with the FANG stocks and going from there. Maybe you want to do that. GameStop, I don't know. You have to really decide whether you want to play that kind of a stock, have that in your portfolio. Again, depending on how old you are and or how young you are. 59.27 on GameStop may not be the right move at this point in time. Maybe these SPACs I'm talking about that are now merging into, that might be where you want to look at. You may want to deploy 1,000 of your 4,000 in this next week or so, and keep 3,000 on the side and wait for opportunities to show up where you get nice entry levels, and then add 1,000 to a second investment, and a week or two later, put the third 1,000 to work. And then how disciplined are you? It's hard. It's hard. There are people out there who are going, I just opened an account. I want to go, baby. I want to go. I want action. I'm ready. I got $4,000. Let's roll, baby. Let's roll. It depends on that kind of mentality you have. How disciplined are you? How much of a hurry are you? How patient are you? How afraid are you? What's your risk tolerance? It all comes into factor. Lindsay, any thoughts on CTRM? They are trading at a low PE for their industry, shipping. Seen a lot of price movement lately. CTRM. Let me punch that into my quote on MarketWatch. Castor Marine Incorporated, trading at 94 cents a share. I'm not a fan of penny stock like that. Engages in the provision of shipping transportation services through its ownership of dry bulk vessels. It offers seaborne transportation services for dry bulk cargo, including iron ore, coal, and grain, collectively referred to as major bulks, steel products, fertilizers, cement, bauxite, sugar, and scrap metal, collectively referred to as minor bulks. The company was founded by Petros Panagonotius in September 17 and is headquartered in Cyprus. This is a kind of company with how many shares out? 364 million. Market cap of only $275 million. Public float of 361 million. No shortage of stock. There's 25 million shorted. Nothing serious. Stocks history for the last year. $1 to 15 cents a share, has had a run lately from the 15-16 range to 93.94. So it's being promoted right now somehow, for some reason, by somebody, for something. They've announced a vessel acquisition on February the 3rd. They announced another vessel acquisition on February 1. Could be the same announcement. They did a debt financing January of this year for $15 million. So again, I don't know. Too hard to say. Yeah, they've arranged a $15 million debt financing senior term loan facility with a reputable European institution of some kind, secured by a couple of their vessels. I know that that carriers of bulk materials, fertilizer, cements, raw steel, you name it, they have been down in the dumps because of the pandemic. Many ships are idled around the world. Singapore has got them just parked there. They're parked in Europe. They're parked in Hong Kong. They're parked elsewhere. They're not all running on all cylinders. These companies have been scrambling to raise cash to survive and stick around. The stock has had a run from 15 cents to here, so I can't recommend it as a buy going forward. I can't. I don't know if they're making money. Something tells me they're probably not making money, that they're likely trimming their losses and they're refinancing themselves to stick around longer. And so at this price, I'm really not sure. Yeah, a lot of price movement, and it's over. It's gone up sixfold. I don't like the odds of it going up double from here. Lots of stock out there, tons. So I'm not so sure about that. All righty. The Garth is saying, where I live, I can only get CFDs in GameStop. Is it worth it? I'm not sure if that's a good plan or not. Again, that's something I'm not familiar with, CFDs. Having another tough day on GameStop. Someone is saying stock is $60.71. Bottomed out at $58.27. It's bounced back a couple of bucks. It will do this. You have to decide when to do whatever you're going to do. Ramsell got into Virgin Group at 1660. Ouch. Where are we at right now? We're at Virgin is now 1528. There you go. 1528. I'm a happier guy for those of you who are thinking of getting into this deal. You're now within, you're in the range from here down to $14. This is the range where you want to buy this stuff. And then just put it away and sit on it. If you like this 23andMe merger story, which I know I do. I like the story. What are your thoughts on just sticking a couple of hundred in S&P every month for super long term? I like that idea. Jay Vert, I like the idea, whether you're doing it through an index fund or whether you're doing it through a series of ETFs. You can also buy these, these multiple ETFs if you like. But keep in mind, you're buying right now the S&P 500 at the all-time high. Not to say it can't go higher, because that's what it's been doing, going higher than the all-time high. But the S&P 500 now, 3905, up 19 points, is near its all-time, right up there within a percentage point, half a percentage point of its all-time high. And yeah, if you've got a long-term view, 5, 10 years, and you can put 100 a month into a series of either single ETFs or just an index fund only, an index ETF, yeah, go ahead and pick it up. Just keep acquiring, and you can just relax, focus on your life, and just slowly but surely acquire a block of this stuff. Whether it's, again, one ETF or a series of ETFs that covers the S&P 500 or sectors of the S&P 500. I mean, there are people out there buying $10 a month of 5 different ETFs every month, $50 a month, $10 in each one, and they're just buying it. And they don't care what the price is at. It doesn't matter, because it's a long-term 10-year deal of accumulating capital in a diversified portfolio, professionally managed, and hopefully the compound growth will do you well. And, after 5 years, you've put in $2,000 a year for 5 years. You got 10 grand now. Hopefully it's compounded and it's grown out. Maybe you have 15 or 20 grand now that you're sitting on. Way to go. And you're just going to build from there. That is a very good strategy for newbies, small bees. Absolutely. Uncle Bruce, listen to Uncle Bruce when he tells you that's not a bad strategy to employ. Absolutely. The Watchman, I'm holding my AMC. I like my AMC. I'm holding it. What about GCG? I have no idea what that is. What's GCG? Who is GCG? What, where, when? GCG. Green Core Group. Is that what you're talking about on Frankfurt? I must be thinking of something else. That's the only quote I'm showing. So I'm not sure what that company is. Would buying shares in Tesla be a good move if you want exposure to Bitcoin? That's interesting. Well, let's pretend you're 20 years old. You're 18 to 25. And hey, you get it. You get the Bitcoin thing. You totally understand. You're going to outlive me if you take care of yourself, you'll outlive me. You're into Tesla. You have one. You want one. You got a buddy who has one. You know people who own Tesla. So you love the company. You got $500. You're not interested in a long-term conservative investment. I want to get in where the action is, and I'm going to follow Elon Musk, baby, because this guy is on a roll. Buy Tesla. Go ahead, buy $500 of Tesla through a Robinhood app or Fidelity or Charles Schwab Slices or E-Trade or Webull. All these guys, any of these guys, whichever one outfit you want to deal with, buy the stock commission free, and you get a couple $100 next month, or you score 500 more doing whatever you're doing. Throw it in and buy more, and just buy more and go ahead. You're following Tesla, you're into Bitcoin indirectly, you're into this, you're into that. Bitcoin goes to $880,000. If Bitcoin does that in the next year, this $1.5 billion investment is probably worth $4 billion, $3.5 billion. Will it take Tesla to $1,500 a share? No, but it might help Tesla go to $1,200 or $1,400 in the next year or two. And if you're averaging it at $850, $900, $950, and it's at $1,300, $1,400, and you've taken a couple of $1,000 and turned it into $5,000, $6,000, nice job. Nice job. Absolutely. And if you throw in more, if you believe in this guy and that vision that man has, that company's not standing still. I mean, it's just not standing still. They started with electric cars in the US, then they went to Europe. Now they're into China. They're opening up to Austin plant, the Berlin plant. They've got the Shanghai plant. This isn't going to stop. Go ahead. Absolutely. Yeah, you bet. That's the perfect kind of investor for that kind of a deal, I would say. Long term, why not? What can I say? The last hot sauce. Do you think bots will continue to attack GameStop down to $10, $20? Wouldn't that just encourage? And there's another message somewhere. Well, again, it's possible. Like I say, anything is possible in the market. Anything, always, good or bad. But right now, GameStop 61.77. It's not doing a straight line drop anymore. It's just not dropping $20, $50 a share anymore. It's drifting along and testing lows and finding a range, and it's settling in. It's trading now 12.6 million today. That wasn't 12.6 million of selling. That was 12.6 million of buying and selling. A lot of turnover is happening on GameStop, and always has, always will. It's a day trader's dream stock. And there are a lot of young traders who know the company. They buy there. They've been there. They know all about these guys. They're in and they're out. They're in and they're out. They're day trading in their Robinhood accounts and their Fidelity accounts. And there might have only been 2 million of real buying and selling, but 10 million of turnover going on all morning on GameStop. All morning, an hour and 8 minutes. It's up. It's down 247 on the day. But for some traders, they don't care if it's up or down on the day. They just want the volatility move. They can catch a down dip and jump it for $1 and get out. Flip 1,000 shares. I just made $1,000. I buy 1,000 shares and I put a stop loss in there, 40 cents below. And if I'm wrong, I'm blown out. I lose $400. I'm going to get back in when I see the thing drop down. I'm buying in with a 40-cent stop loss and a 120 gain sellout. Automatic. So I get in for 60. I'm out at 59.60. If it goes down there, I get sold out and I lose $400 on 1,000 shares. But if it goes to 61.20, I automatically get triggered out and I've locked in 1,200. So I'm prepared to take a $400 loss, but I'm prepared to take a $1,200 gain. How many can I do every day? I had 10 losers and 5 winners. I lost 4,000 and I made 6,000. I'm up $2,000 on the day. That's the ratio that they're going with. This is happening on 100 shares, on 10 shares, on 50 shares, on 6,000 shares. It all depends on the investor's cash on hand. How much can they play with? This is being done all the time on every stock in the market all the time, including GameStop. And the more volatile, the better. Tesla, classic. But of course, people can't buy easily, individual investors, 1,000 shares at a time. That's an $800,000 investment. Hedge funds can, and hedge funds do. They do exactly the same thing. They'll get into a stock like Tesla for 2,000, 5,000 shares per trade. They'll get in there for a day trade. They get there for a 5-minute trade, a 2-minute trade, a 3-second trade. They can buy 5,000 at 840 whatever and sell it for 50 cents more. They'll take the flip. Tesla right now, 868, 65. Buy 5,000 at 868, sell them at 869, you make $5,000. You're dealing with $868,000 times 5. You're dealing with $4.3 million, but you made a quick $5,000, a quick $5,000, a quick $5,000, a quick $5,000. At the end of the day, you're tallying it up. I traded 150,000 Tesla today, and I flipped positively this many times and negatively this many times, and here's my net position. I have no shares in Tesla, and I made $15,000 today over my losses. Typical day at a hedge fund trader's desk. But on GameStop, people are doing it with 10 shares at a time, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80, 200, 400, 600, 800. It all depends on their money. In and out, in and out, in and out, out to in, short to buy to short, buy to sell to buy to sell, depending on what direction they are more comfortable with and whether their broker is giving them the leverage to do shorting. But most traders buy and then sell. They're longers. They look for the dip, pick up the dip, run it, and take a flip. Commonly done, normal business all the time. Alrighty, let's see here. That's right, $500 won't even let you get a share. That's right. People will buy $500 worth of Tesla, get a fractional share. And then they'll buy $100 more next month, $200 more. Eventually, they'll have 800 something. They'll have a share. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you can buy $500 worth of stock today. And if it goes up 20% in value, it's worth $600 down the road. You sell it, you made $100 on Tesla because it went up 20%. People are buying the dollars of Tesla, not the shares of Tesla. There are day traders flipping $5,000 worth of Tesla at a time all the time. They're flipping 3, 4, 5 shares, 6 shares. That's it. They're getting in for $5,000 and they're getting out for $5,100. They're getting in for $5,000 and getting out at $5,222. They're getting in for $5,000 and getting out at $5,070. They're taking quick penny trade flips because their apps, their phone apps, are telling them your account is worth $5,084 right now. A second later, it's worth $5,083. It's worth $5,094. It's changing second to second, trade to trade on Tesla. And they're in and out of there all the time. They're flipping in and out of there all the time. This is what the day trading phenomena is all about, even with $1,000 accounts, $500 accounts. There are guys out there who will try to tell you how you can be a successful day trader with $1,000 because they brag about it on YouTube. They're trading on YouTube live and inviting you to join them, but they don't win all the time. They will lose and they win, and they sometimes have 4 losing days in a row. Others win a couple of days in a row. It's a game, back and forth game of how many dollars have I got to risk, how many dollars I got to play with. If you're stuck at home and you're laid off from your employer and you're on unemployment and you get a $2,000 stimulus payment, $600 now, $1,400 more, and you're in your mom and dad's house, your rent is very low, overhead, you're helping with the groceries, you got $1,500 in the market. You got nothing else to do but trade stock on these platforms. And some folks are trading stocks, some folks are trading options, some are trading warrants. And they're in and they're out and they're looking for the hot trade of the day. And they're in today to be out later today. This is not a marriage. This is just a hot date. That's all this is. And I want many of them in the day. That's what they're doing. Brianna, if a short report shows a high percentage, could GameStop hit a high? Yes, it could. It could create hedge funds to say, you know, this GameStop thing had a little run there, hell of a little run. Now we're back into this, 61 range. Outcomes of a short report, and it keeps showing this nasty little report that just won't stop coming up all the time. The nasty little news is that GameStop has a lot of shares shorted on it. No matter what it trades at, there's always a short position. And there might be 5 or 10 or 20 hedge funds out there. Remember, there are 10 to 15,000 hedge funds around the world. That's how many there are. Between 10 and 15,000 hedge funds exist, and they handle over $3 trillion in cash. That's how big the hedge fund business is. 3 trillion plus 10 to 15,000 of them. Now, there could be 5 or 10 hedge funds in New York, San Francisco, Texas, wherever they're quartered. And some of these hedge funds are only sitting on $100 million, $500 million, $1 billion, $5 billion, $7 billion. They don't have to be the biggest in the world. There are some hedge funds out there who are looking at GameStop going, you know, I like this guy, Ryan Cohen. I like what this guy Cohen did. He picked off all these shares of GameStop when they were sitting at, there's Ryan right there. When they were sitting down at this, $4, $5, $6 level, way back here. Look at this chart. They were sitting here with GameStop at a pretty cheap price. Let me get rid of this comment now. There we go. And he bought down here, and he just picked it off, and he picked it off, and he picked it off, and it had a crazy run. Just an amazing, crazy run. This guy bought $76 million of the GameStop, got 13% of the company. And here they are selling these, PlayStation systems like there's no tomorrow. There's no inventory in the store. The inventory comes in, it's pre-sold. It's all gone. The lineups at Christmas time. If this stock is going to settle in around $50, $60, maybe we should pick some of this up. Maybe we should buy like 1 million shares, but slowly, without running the market. We don't want to buy 1 million and have it go to $80 a share. Why don't we just buy 1 million shares, a couple of thou at a time, 5 thou a day, 10 thou a day? For 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 days, we'll buy 10, 20. We'll get 1 million shares assembled here at these low. We'll just average in around 50, 60, as long as it gives us to us. We'll buy it up. And the game plan then would be, there's another 1 million you can't trade with because we have it in a long position in our hedge fund. There might be 5 or 10 hedge funds thinking the same thing, that they're all going to buy 100,000 to 500,000 to 1 million shares apiece for the next year because, they know where this company is going digital, e-commerce all the way. And so they're going to pick this thing up and just sit on it. The lower it goes, they'll buy more. They'll have an average price that they're comfortable with. Right now, $61.13 a share, and they're just going to pick this stuff up and acquire it. And a year from now, the company announces that 80% of their sales are e-commerce, and that they're headed for 90% the next quarter, and that their cost of operations have dropped by 25%. They've laid off all kinds of staff they don't need anymore. They've let go all these stores. They don't pay rent in all kinds of states and countries and jurisdictions. They don't have to figure out the finances from all these currencies and all these counties and cities and bylaws and insurance at every retail location. They've just dropped all that. They forget all that. They're down to where they want to be, maybe at 1,500 stores, mainly in the U.S. and Canada. Every other store they want that stayed open, they've sold off and cashed in on. And analysts are going, in the next 2 years, this company could be making $3, $4 a share at trading at 200, 300 times earnings. That could happen. And that's what these hedge funds are going, we're thinking down the road. That's where these guys, maybe this will be a $200, $300, $400, $500 stock down the road, and we'll just buy it up here while people are just giving it up. We'll take it. Whether it's real selling from sellers or it's shorting by shorters, we'll just buy it up. We're not going to run the market. We need our position. Once we've got a position of 1 million shares, 500,000 shares, 1.5 million, whatever the position is, then what we'll do is we'll hire vloggers that cover stocks, and we'll hire vloggers friendly to us to tell the world how smart GameStop is now and how it's evolved and what the prospects are. And if we hear that a Wall Street analyst is on board with the GameStop story going forward, we'll promote that analyst's report like you can't believe. We'll promote it everywhere. We'll pay to promote it. Yeah, that's what they do. They promote their position. That's what hedge funds do. Shorters promote the badness, the loserness of a company, and long traders promote how great they are. Duh. That's what they do. And analysts come on to CNBC and talk about the upside of XYZ Corp. They love it and they talk it up because they're recommending it at a higher price. I mean, how many analysts come on to CNBC and telling you to buy Amazon at $3,300 a share because they think it's going to $4,500 a share? Well, of course they're going to talk it up. Their reputations are on the line. I think it's going to $4,500 a share, and I'll tell you why. And they're going to back up their position. These hedge funds are going to promote any kind of positive news on GameStop through networks that they've set up. They have got promoters everywhere, influencers everywhere, investor relations specialists everywhere. You want whatever title you want to call them. I'll call them a stock promoter because that's what I used to call these guys in the 80s, promoters. And they promote the investments that these hedge funds make, especially liquid investments. Yeah, look for upward momentum and upward momentum of announcements and coverage if the GameStop story is still a serious short situation. Absolutely. That's why I talk about these SPACs. I'm telling you about the Richard Branson SPAC. You want to talk about a promoter? The ultimate global promoter, Richard Branson. He's incredible. He's a phenomenal reporter of his businesses. And he has a vested interest in the upside of the Virgin Group Acquisition Corporation. He has a big multi-million reason he wants to promote VGAC with the merger. Absolutely. And so I'm saying to you guys, why don't you join this guy? He's a multi-billionaire. He's kind of got a track record of good promotional success. VGAC 1575 hit 1520 today, getting into the buy range now. Yeah, I'd be riding this guy's horse. You betcha. Let him he'll do all the work for you. He'll do all the promotion work for you. You don't have to do anything. You just buy the stock, sit in the sidelines, and let him run it. Well, I think GameStop will have a lot of promotion as well as they go completely digital. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of promotion. My name is Lilieg. Super sticker. Thank you for these super stickers you guys are doing. Thank you guys for these donations. Love it when you send me a question, a super chat question, the banner. I can't miss it. Here it is. Chris, thank you, Chris. Is there a typical $5 average amount of short interest for a stock to have? What is considered high and what's a short interest indicate? Good question, buddy. Very good question. If a stock has, say, 10% or less of its float shorted, that's small. That's a small short position because there's always doubters of everything. All right. People will always be on the, you've got your pessimists out there and you got your optimists, and then you got everybody in the middle. And super pessimists are shorters. Super optimists are promoters. And then everyone in the middle kind of watching, who do you believe? And where is it at? Show me the money. Over 20% to 40% is not unusual. Might be a bit high at 40%. That's getting high now. Over 30% is getting high. But beyond 40% is ridiculous, is really ridiculous shorting. And with GameStop having been 140%, when there were 70 million shorted and only 50 million technically free trading, that was stupid. That got corrected. That got corrected in a real shakeout in a hurry. So that's how that works. Now, we'll get a result now in about, what is it today, the 8th? Maybe tomorrow. We might hear tomorrow an official release of the short positions for January 31, which really meant January 29th, I think, the Friday. We'll probably know that shortly. All right, Michael, thank you for this donation. Watching from Grand Forks, British Columbia. What's up, neighbor? How you doing, neighbor? We're going up. We're going down. Temperature, we're going down. It's going to get cold. We are on the edge here in Creston of an Arctic front that's coming our way. Right now, we're only 19 Fahrenheit for the temperature right now. We're only getting to 25. We were at 36, 37 yesterday. The day before, we were 43. We're going down. Our high temperature on Thursday will be 9 Fahrenheit as we are in the Arctic. But then we come out of it on Friday to 14 for the high, Saturday 19, Sunday 27, next Wednesday 34. So this Arctic thing is dropping to America. All of America is going to get a good chunk of America is going to get this. And there'll be all kinds of news reports about people in a cold house. That we got a serious deal coming through. Anyway, thank you, buddy, for joining me, and thank you for the donation. I see these super chats; they just hit me like that, and I do appreciate that, guys. Thank you. GameStop going to make me zillionaires. GameStop is not going bankrupt. That's for sure. Do you not listen? It's not going bankrupt. Grant, isn't GameStop going bankrupt? Someone can explain why they're getting their money is through the stock. GameStop is not going bankrupt at all. They are selling every single PlayStation 5 is pre-sold through all their stores worldwide right now. Same with the Xbox. They just made a deal with last several months ago with Microsoft for an online digital payout for digital sales of Xboxes through their site. They're making all kinds of money here. They're going to convert, like I said, into a full-blown e-commerce outfit. And here we go. He just explained the whole Ryan Cohen connection. There you go. That is Chewy, the connection. And they're stealing Amazon people. They're stealing Chewy people. They're stealing all kinds of staff from other companies that are e-commerce specialists. And they're now quickly ramping up their staff to completely convert GameStop over to the digital side. And I think this is a really good move. Great content. Appreciate the steady hand through these rough markets. Hoping for a full-length review of the Tesla in a few months. That would not be something. Choose 282. Thank you for that donation. I really appreciate it. It helps the bottom line a lot. You guys are fantastic. Let's just see here. Any other things to worry about, wonder about, follow about? Those of you who are watching me now live, 1,400 thumbs ups. Thank you, guys. Keep them coming if you can. Every thumbs up helps the momentum of this channel. And if you can do that with any of my videos that you watch, make sure you give them a thumbs ups too. On the markets, we've got Gore's Holdings. This is the one I talked about this morning. Thank you for those thumbs ups. Where am I here? Gore's Holdings at $12.77 up 51 cents. They're going to merge with a company called Matterport, a virtual reality 3D imaging company. They're taking it over on a merger. They'll be listed in a few months on the exchange, at MTTR will be the symbol. You can buy GHVI right now as the SPAC that's going to merge with the Matterport. It'll be a $2.9 billion enterprise value corporation with $640 million cash in the bank the day they merge together. And I like the deal a lot. Serious Wall Street backing there. I like the Virgin Group Acquisition Corp, VGAC. I like that deal. That's a company that is at $15.46, down 58 cents a share. I'm hoping it'll even go under 15. And I recommend any of you guys want to get into that. I think you'll enjoy yourselves if you can get that cheap. It was as high as 18 on the initial announcement last Thursday. They are merging with 23andMe, which is the mail-in genome gene testing ancestry determination stuff. We've got deals with GlaxoSmithKline pharmaceutical, Google investment in this thing. This is a winner. They're going to have 950 million when their merger is completed. They will be called 23andMe. Symbol will be ME. You can buy this SPAC now. You'll be into the 23andMe deal by buying the SPAC VGAC. Gamestop, I like it long term, $60.80. It's down $2.97 today. AMC 602, under pressure all day long. If this goes under 5, it could be a buy, but it's had a tough a week and a half now because that company is in a position to continue to raise money. They're still issuing stock. They're diluting their shareholders, and so you got to get in really cheap to enjoy. But they did hit $18 a share on a run, but I don't think we're going to see another one right away. Ronnie, check out JDST. Ronnie, thank you for that. Pat Dees, what's your opinion on AIV as a long-term hold? I need to do more personal research, but would like your opinion. Thank you. Guys, thank you for these questions. As I try to keep up with you. JDST, let's take a look at JDST first and just see what I see here. JDST. What is this thing? What is this? What is it? What is it? What is it? It's on the New York Stock Exchange. ARCA something. Drexion Daily Junior Gold Miners Index Bear 2 times shares. So this is this an ETF? Am I right here? What do we got here? Where am I? The fund seeks to provide. It's a fund seeks to provide daily investment results of 200% of the inverse of the performance of the MVIS Global Junior Gold Miners Index. So it goes 2 times versus the gold miners index. Yeah, I'm not in the metals. If you love gold long term, you'll want to buy this thing. But I really don't know if this is an investment I would be happy in. It has been higher. It has been a lot higher. Was a lot higher in the last year. And it's backed off. But in the last, 6 months, seems to be between 950 to 12 in that range. I'm not a big fan of these type of investments personally. It's just not a big thing for me. There are 8 million units outstanding or shares, and total assets under administration 86 million. It's not a gigantic fund. But it does swing. I'm not sure if it's really a day trading type of a deal or not. I personally wouldn't be in there if you're a novice investor. Not my game plan. Now, Pat Dietz, AIV. Let's take a look at that one as I go again to the Market Watch site. AIV. Let's see if it pops up. Apartment Investment and Management Company. Is that what this is on the New York Stock Exchange? $4.92 a share. High of the year, 740, low 326. And they are Apartment Investment Management Co. operates as a real estate investment trust that engages in the acquisition, ownership, management, and redevelopment of apartment properties. The company was founded by Terry Considine in 1975 and is headquartered in Denver. The shares outstanding 148 million, market cap 768 billion, public float 146 million, shares shorted 8.9, nothing, 6% short position. So there's not a short position. This is a conservative investment during most times, most of the time. The problem with this investment is that if they got apartment buildings in the wrong part of town with the COVID and they got a whole bunch of people not paying rent, they may have themselves a whole bunch of non-rent payers that they can't get rid of because of the stimulus packages. So it's a tough one to call. I don't follow stocks like this, to say the least, and I don't recommend them for early first-time investors unless you know something that's really big that's going to happen. I wouldn't be into deals like that. Just my personal opinion. OCGN is a buy, says Preston Whitney. OCGN. Let's take a look. What is this? What is this? OCGN is a buy, he says. Occugen trading on the NASDAQ exchange, 1191 last, up 650 today. It's had a big pop today, rocketing up higher, low 17 cents this year, high of 13.99. That was today. Trading now 240 million shares. There's 162 million out. Public float 156. Short position only 14 million, 9%. I don't know why. I don't know what they do. There's nothing here describing these guys. You wonder what's going on. There's an announcement here. Why are they trading? A private placement priced the stock at a premium as the clinical stage firm expands its development. Accumulation, a roller coaster, is thrilling investors again today as shares surge 60% in pre-market trading. The rocketing price of the stock follows a 61% price on Friday. The gain comes as investors react to the company's $23 million registered direct common stock offering that's priced at a premium to the market. The transaction for 3 million shares at $7.65 is expected to close on or about February 10. That's tomorrow, day after tomorrow. The net proceeds will be used to general corporate purposes, capital expenditures, working capital, and other administrative expenses. 2 days of massive gains are just one side of the volatility coin that is digital pharma stock. Last week, more than a 50% gain was followed by a 13% drop the next day. The shares closed at $5.25 at the end of the week, and they're known mostly as a clinical stage developer of therapies for blindness. Indian firm Bharat Biotech chose Accumulation as its partner to develop and commercialize Covaxin. Bharat is known for its vaccine experience in India with more than a dozen different vaccines in its pipeline. With this in mind, the company stepped up to the challenge of producing a vaccine for COVID-19. The stock doubled on that news. So that is what this deal is. OCGN is getting a movement on financing and a partnership, but it is up now dramatically from where it was only a little while ago. In the last month, it has moved from $220 a share to even $182 a share, $166 a share on the 27th of January. It is now pushing 11. It might have had its run already. It might be too late to get into that any further because I have no idea what kind of upside there can be from here when a stock has that kind of a pop. There you go, Bond. There you go, my friend Preston Whitney. Now, Bondominator, thoughts on playing a hot stock with an upcoming split. EXPI is up 250% in the last 3 months and will split 2-for-1 on the 16th. That seemed to work for Tesla. Well, Tesla was a massive, outfit. EXPI, let's take a look at that one. On the fly, joining Bruce on the fly. 142.66 is the current price of the stock, trading on NASDAQ. It's up $7.69 on the day today. It's been as low as 140 today, as high as 156. For the last 52 weeks, $6.51 up to 156. You're at the all-time high right now. Shorted shares, only 2 million, so there's no short issue there. 9.4 billion market cap with 69 million shares outstanding, 30 million public float, now soon to be a 60 million public float with 140 million out with the 2-for-1. They operate as a cloud-based real estate brokerage firm. They're called eXp World Holdings, Inc. It focuses on the development and the use of cloud-based technologies in order to grow an international brokerage without the burden of physical brick-and-mortar offices and redundant staffing costs. The firm also offers software subscriptions to customers to access its virtual reality software platform through Virbila. The company is founded by Glenn Darrell Sanford in July 2008 and is headquartered in Bellingham, Washington. That is the description of the company. The stock has had a run. It is at its practically its all-time high. They've expanded their operations. Last report, they made a news announcement June 26th that they're moving into Puerto Rico. And they announced on January the 19th a 2-for-1 stock split. So the stock, January 19th was the announcement of the split. Excuse me, I'm stumbling over myself. At the time, the stock was sitting around $79 a share, and the stock is now $142. So It's over. The party's over, pal. They've done their split. They've done their pop. I would be very loath to get involved now with this being done. If you're long, take your money and run. You made your money, move on, because the upside is limited from here because of how far it's come. I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's probably nothing wrong with the company, but it's probably had such a good run at this point. The money's been made already by everyone, and any sign of weakness, this might give up some movement. As soon as the split's done, it might flatten for a while. I don't know if it's necessarily got more to go. But again, if you're a gambler, you're a gambler. What can I say? Welcome to the markets. Stocks do what they do for a million different reasons. You have to decide for yourself what you want to do with this. Gore's Holdings, $12.79, up 53 cents on this merger with Matterport. Speaking of virtual reality real estate, Matterport's right into that business. Virgin Group acquisition at $15.42, down 62 cents. The lower it goes, the more attractive it gets to me. GameStop at $60.85, down 292 on the day. Volume on GameStop now, 14.3 million shares. That's where we are right now. AMC down to 609. Bed Bath & Beyond down 2 cents on the day. It's flat. Now it had a pop in the morning. It was down. It's now back. But AMC has just been down all day. BlackBerry up 40 cents, but it was higher. Dropped a bit and now back to 13.62. Royal Caribbean down 20 cents. Norwegian up 23 cents. Carnival up 15 cents. Not much on those guys. The Dow up 131 right now. The Dow is having an okay day, not an unbelievable blockbuster breakout, but it's up 0.4% today. S&P up 17 points, NASDAQ up about 94. So they're doing all right. And take a peek here at Tesla. Tesla shares, pardon me one moment. There we are, up $16.63 to $868. And Bitcoin right now is at $44,100, up $5,500 today. That's a 14.4% gain on Bitcoin, adding to the wealth of Tesla, because Tesla bought 1.5 billion of Bitcoin. And I would bet you that Tesla did not pay $39,000. They probably bought it at $35,000 back in January, and they could well be up a third on their money already, which is a $500 million book gain, capital gain for Tesla already on Bitcoin. What can we say? What's happening here? Bruce, why don't stocks trade on the markets like currency does? Stock markets have exchanges. Exchanges have employees. Stock brokerage firms have employees, and you can't work it 7 days a week. It's just too much. That's probably why. Pat, Pink Floyd or Zeppelin? Zeppelin. I'm not much into Pink Floyd like I was into Zeppelin when I was a kid. Much more into Zeppelin than Pink Floyd. That's just my personal opinion. Thank you for the question. Love the Doobie Brothers, the Beatles, Stones, Tom Petty. Love music from the 70s. Love music from the 80s. All that new wave music that came out. Love a lot of that. Very much follow a lot of that stuff. Shane, Zeppelin, woohoo! Herman waiting for the squeeze. Is GameStop going to $10,000 a share? Not today. Ever? I don't know about that. I'm not sure what's going on here. What's this? What does the latest GameStop filing mean? It just came out this morning. Let's take a look. I didn't see a filing this morning on GameStop. Let me see if I can find one that's been done, apparently. Let me take a look. Filings on GameStop. There's one here, a 13G filing as of today's date. Let's find out. Let's take a look at this filing. It's an amendment to GameStop, Class A common shares. Reporting person from Delaware, FMR LLC. That's Abigail P. Johnson filing here. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. We've got 13.2% of the company. Reporting Fidelity Series Intrinsic Opportunities Fund item. There's something there. Principals, executive offices. This is the company in Grapevine, Texas. Trying to figure out what's going on here. 9.27 million, 13.3%. The person has sole power to vote. Fine. Rights receiving here. KKKK. Above required and held in the ordinary course of business, not required to be held for purposes of not expecting issuer. It could be that we have, here we go. We have beneficial ownership of over 5% of the company, so they have to file an SEC report whenever they make changes. Members of the Johnson family, including Abigail P. Johnson, are the prominent owners directly or through trusts of Series B voting common shares of FMR LLC, representing 49% of the voting power of FMR. The Johnson family owns Group and all the Johnson family group and all other Series B shareholders have entered into a shareholders voting agreement under which Series B voting shares will be voted in accordance with the majority vote of Series B voting shares. Accordingly, through the ownership of the shares, execution of shareholders may be deemed under the Investment Act to form a controlling group. All right, so the group controls FMR. FMR owns this is Fidelity Management and Research, owns a big chunk of GameStop. Alrighty. Let's see here. I'm just trying to read this through. This sounds to me like I don't know if there's been an acquisition made of more stock in GameStop, but the GameStop ownership is at 9.276 million shares. 13.3% of the stock outstanding. Then there's a Fidelity Series owns 6.8 million shares, 9.7 million shares. And this could be just one of those monthly filing reports by an insider declaring their ownership of stock, how many they have, how many they've got, who controls the voting power of the entity that owns the shares. That's all I'm reading into this. I'm not reading any kind of a corporate change of ownership or change of control or insider activity of any serious note. Stocks at $60.57. It's down $3 on the day, $3.20 on the day. So it's making no difference to the shareholdings of the company, making no difference to the value of the shares. I mean, it's not adding to the value of the shares. I think the decline of the market is just regular trading right now. That's what we're getting right now. So that's what that is. But it is a filing. And whenever an insider makes a change to their holding of GameStop or anything else, they have to file with the SEC. And so that's what I got there. Javert, Bruce, thoughts on government bonds? Well, look, you can give the United States government money if you want. Buy a 10-year note. They'll pay you 1.1% or something on your money. You buy a 2-year note, you'll get 0.15 of a percentage point. You get nothing. Inflation will take away your gains. You can buy German bonds and lose 0.5% over 10 years on your money, but you're into a note backed by the German government, which is in euros. And the question is, will the euro go up against the currency that you own more than you lose on the bond? Like I say, the German government doesn't need money. They've got surpluses because they bring in more taxes than they spend. The government is very well fiscally run. Unlike America, that for some reason, just in a booming economy last year, 2 years ago, wants to hand out massive tax cuts to the wealthiest of Americans and corporations when they had the chance to say, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to bring in $500 billion more than we spend to bring down the $20 trillion deficit. America doesn't seem to want to do that. They'd rather just keep giving away tax breaks to the rich of the rich of rich who fund the big super PACs to elect their favorite politicians who cut taxes for the wealthy. That will not seem to be ending. And now Biden is in the office and he's promising to modify the generous tax structure for the uber wealthy to help them, pay their fair share of taxes, like the secretaries working for these guys pay, the average Joe pays. I don't have a problem with that, actually. What do you think about Tesla dropping 1.4 billion to Bitcoin? Talked about this all morning. YouTube Lotto. All morning. I like it in a way. I find it interesting in a way. I admit that it is the wave that many companies seem to be going. What can I say? Jack, Bruce, you missed my super chat about CIDM. How could you miss my super chat about the CIDM? When did you give me that super chat? Was that a long time ago? If I did, I apologize. I have been, ranting away here. But let me see what I can dig up here on CDIM. I'm just double checking. There's Jack's comment right there. Let's take a look at CDIM. Calm Jack down. CDIM. Not finding anything on a CDIM quote. Sorry. What is that? Help me out. Let me know with a little more clarity. What is CDIM? I'll try to keep an eye open for your chat. What else we got here? YouTube. That's the comment I just did. Thank you, everybody, for that. And somebody also mentioned something to me. Here we go. Hey, Bruce, any resources you'd recommend looking into gain a better understanding of markets commonly used terms? Any resources you recommend looking into to understanding markets? Well, what do you feel? What do we got here? Some people talk about this CIDM. I got the wrong symbol. Okay, I'll get that in a sec. CIDM. Thank you. Hey, Bruce, any resources you recommend? Google. Just Google up information about the stock market, stock market terms, most commonly used phrases in the market, most commonly used anachronisms. What's that word called? Read articles in the New York Times. Read articles in the Washington Post business section. Read articles CNBC. Follow their website. They're following the market all the time. Articles all the time. Free to read. Just get more used to the terminology of the markets that way. CIDM. Let's try this. If it would help if I cleaned up my act here. Hang on, folks. Just CIDM. All right, here we go. The company is Synegem, NASDAQ, $1.89 a share. Let's look at the last 3 months on a chart here. November, 55 cents a share, 50 cents a share, 84 down to the 60s, now 180 something. 165 million outstanding, 97 float, 3 million share float interest, no one cares. For the year, they have been 25 cents for the low, $6 for the high. Today, 180 to 192. What do they do? Engages in the marketing and distribution of movie, television, and other short-form content, managing a library of distribution rights. It operates through the segments cinema equipment business and content and entertainment business. The cinema equipment business segment consists of the non-recourse financing vehicles and administration. I don't even know what that means. The content of entertainment business refers to ancillary market aggregation and distribution of entertainment content and branded over-the-top digital network business providing entertainment channels and applications. I don't know what that means. The company is founded by Dale Mayo in 2000 and is headquartered in New York. Marketing and distribution of movie, TV, and other short-form content, managing a library of distribution rights. So there's some kind of a content distributor of some sort. The $1.88 a share. No idea what to make of it. Announcements. There was a buy recommendation from Alliance Global Partners on January the 21st. Senior analyst or some analyst of some kind. Brian Kinstenliger or whatever it is, reiterated a buy opinion on the stock, CIDM, with a price target of $3. They closed at $1.34 last Thursday. According to tipranks.com, the guy's a 4-star analyst, they say, and he likes it. Okay, my article just went dark on me because I don't subscribe to the service. Again, can't tell you more than that. I don't have an opinion on it. It's a penny stock as far as I'm concerned. Good luck. I kind of like companies with, a lot more value than that. But again, to each his own. Alrighty. What else am I seeing here? Any comments on GameStop? I'm just double checking GameStop about any comments anywhere. Nothing from the company, nothing being said today. The markets are up 130 for the Dow, 15 for S&P, 81 for NASDAQ. Comments coming through. Any more that I'm missing anymore? Super chats. Thank you for these. I try to read them here as best I can. Recently started streaming platforms, says Jake. And again, the market is reacting, but I don't know what the upside can be because I just don't know about these guys. But they're obviously getting press. Good thing to get press. No question about it. Thank you, everybody, for that. Let's go here. A lot of people asking me to look into all kinds of stock. Just haven't got time to do it all today, guys. I've been on for 2 hours, 55 minutes. Going to get ready to go off the air in a little bit as I get a rest in here, my midday break. I'm on twice tonight as well on Traveling with Bruce. I'm on at 7 o'clock for sponsor members for an hour. And then I'm on at 8 o'clock for anyone to join on Traveling with Bruce. 8 o'clock's big show tonight. We'll talk cruise ship news and what's going on there, travel news. I'm on again here on this channel. I will be on later today, 3 o'clock Eastern, 1 hour before the close of this market. You can join me for the close and for an hour after the close for the aftermarket. We'll review what happened today, how the markets are shutting down, what's going on, what's the news, what's happening. Welcome you to open arms. Join me again this afternoon on Stock Markets with Bruce. On this show, we've had 1,500 thumbs ups. Thank you for those. If you can spare a thumbs up right now on this show, give the show some momentum getting off the air. Let people know I'm here. I will load up the new show here shortly for this afternoon, and you can give that show a thumbs up before I even start. And a lot of you can talk amongst yourselves if you wish while you're waiting for me to come back on the air. We'll keep you posted. On the recap, the Gores Holdings stock that I talked about today, GHVI, $12.90 a share, up 64, merging with Matterport coming up. I like that deal. Virgin Group Acquisition Corp is down 41 cents to $15.64. Was as low as the low 15s, $15.20, but it's bounced back a bit. The lower that one goes, I like that deal. GameStop is down $3.57 to $60.20. AMC down to $6.07. Bed Bath & Beyond $26.33 down 21 cents. BlackBerry at $13.72 up 49. And the Dow is up 139 right now, hanging right in there. 1,600 thumbs ups for this telecast. Keep them coming, folks, and thank you. Appreciate it very much. As far as this channel goes, we have had some really good viewing today, and we're also adding subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to Stock Markets with Bruce. I appreciate it. 49,610 subscribers. We're going for 50,000 subscribers, our next big target, and we're getting closer and closer to that number all the time. Thank you all for becoming part of the Stock Markets with Bruce family, joining your Uncle Bruce for the latest. Love it, guys. Thank you, all of you, for being here with me this morning for the first 3 hours of my day before the opening and during the opening. Thumbs ups, everybody. Please, thank you for those. I appreciate it. And hi from England, Dave. Thank you, buddy. I'll be back on at 3 o'clock Eastern time today on this channel. We'll go through the final hour of trading and the first hour of aftermarket trading to see what's breaking at the end of the day. And I welcome you to join me. We'll see how all these shares are going to behave between now and then. And cheers in the meantime to all of you from TWB. Thank you for picking up these items. This mug, any Stock Markets with Bruce stuff you've been buying. Thank you guys. Very much appreciated. And also those of you who are supporting me on PayPal, thank you again for making considerations for that. We're now at 1,600 thumbs ups coming into the end of this broadcast. Thank you for these thumbs ups, everybody. It really helps the analytics of this channel. When we show, 2,800 viewers and 1,600 thumbs ups, that's a very good engagement number. That gets YouTube promoting this channel to other people who've never heard of us before. Love you guys. Alrighty, there it is. We're going to pause now, and I will be back at 3 o'clock Eastern time, and we will pick up the show from there. In the meantime, stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy. Watch your social distancing, wear those masks, get your COVID shots, do what those health professionals say. Stay safe for me. I need healthy viewers and make lots of money today. And we'll talk to you later this afternoon and go through the close. Okay, guys, talk to you soon. We'll see you real soon. Thank you, everybody. Bye for now.